Good afternoon and welcome to, well, it was previously sunny, now it's slightly cloudy. Locorotondo, Italy, just above the heel at the boot of Italy. We're just about ready to get going for qualifying round one here in Locorotondo at the 2024 EFRA European Championships for 1/8 IC track. Before we get started, let's hear from our sponsors. All right, so welcome to, like I said, previously sunny Locorotondo in the south of Italy. Not quite Sicily, but almost Sicily. My name is Trent McKinney. On the moving camera, we've got Zach Fenning. And next to me, we've got Mr. John Ehrman. John, how are you today?
I'm doing really great, Frank. Thank you for introducing me. I always would like to say this. Welcome to the commentary box.
Yeah, welcome to the commentary box. Friend of the show, John Ehrman.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so we are, we'll get into the qualifying. This is round one, heat one. Zach, pick any, we'll find this white and green car. We'll follow these cars as we come through. This car number 2, I think, of... Well, we'll get up to speed in a moment. So yes, so normally, I mean, John's new to our commentary team here on RC Racing TV. Car number 2 was Gianni Loperfido from Italy. We have obviously in Italy the Nitro Mad capital of the world. We have lots and lots of Italian racers who are going to be on the track with us, but we'll get into the qualifying and all the details and what's been happening. But yeah, like I said, just want to introduce young John Ehrman from the Netherlands or Holland. Do you prefer Netherlands or Holland?
The Netherlands, because that's the country. Holland is actually a province of the Netherlands.
Okay, very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. See, I like to get these things right. People like Nick are like, whatever.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, so John from the Netherlands is joining us, actually, and you're racing, actually, in Group 5, aren't you?
Yeah, well, they put me back in Group 4 to have
Group
a little
4,
bit more
yes.
time to commentate on the faster group. So, yeah, I would have actually been in 6. That was my true pace, but like I said to you, Frank, I'm not here for my racing 100%. I'm here to help you guys out with commentating and giving some more inside information in the technical side of racing.
And that is honestly, I mean, I love commentating now. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm all that good at it. I'm quite enthusiastic about it. I love talking to the racers and seeing the cars in action. Seeing all the crazy great lengths that people will go to be a faster racer. But I've never raced this category. I drove one of these cars once at a customer race for HPI, and I immediately broke the car.
Oh, really? Because it was too fast?
No, it was. I didn't understand how to drive it because at that time these cars had a one-way and a solid rear diff, and now I think there's no front one-way. Is that right?
Yeah, there's still one
front
one-way,
okay.
and it's still a solid rear axle. Actually, I don't think a lot. If you look at cars 20 years back or more, the real basic of the technical details are still the same. Yes, they changed some geometry and stuff like that, but in general, the cars are still looking somewhat more the same. The era before that, we had the unsuspension, like
right, yeah.
That was a really big change, and then the cars changed a little bit. That you can change the toe-in of the car by like a half degree or something. It was not with an insert or anything, and since that time, the design of the cars are literally a little bit more the same.
That's I mean, these cars are insane. If you watched our video reel that we put on Instagram and YouTube, Facebook earlier today, these cars are literally known as the Formula One of RC. Although we do have Formula One now in large scale, and Formula One even in electric touring car size.
I always say that is the pinnacle of RC racing.
Yes, the tip top, the sharpest end of RC car racing. These cars are insanely fast. I think I've seen speeds of up to 130 per hour, which I think that's got to be like 90. No, it's like 90.
Are we talking miles now?
Yeah, in miles.
I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So just keep that in mind. How fast these cars are going. There is literally a speed trap on the track, and So we do want to welcome John to the commentary box. He's just had to step out for a second. But yes, so hello to our people in the live chat. Hello to NYCE67, Teabag McPick, which is, wow, that's a username and a half. Johnny Tonto saying hello from down under. G'day. RC Otradnoe, hello to all. Thomas Manley, hello. Mombasa saying hello all. Mrs. Young, one of our silver RC heroes. We'll get into welcoming all of our RC heroes. Good evening, Nitro RC enthusiasts. Many happy greetings from Adelaide, South Australia. Good day to Mrs. Young 01. Good luck to Tim Wood and Carl Dransfield. And Mombasa saying, looks like the grip will come later, and I'm sure it will be. Although we have had rain overnight, we'll get into the rain. Jose Pena saying, hi guys, and when in 4K? Well, if you want to sponsor us for 4K coverage, we'd love it. And David Ongaro, our newest 3-time world champion, saying, hey guys, yes, David Ongaro himself is in the chat. Bayrock Tarman saying, what about me? Welcome me. Well, this is the first time you're commenting, so hello and welcome to Bayrock Tarman. It looks like you have an RC glider, or is that a drone as your profile picture? So, so thank you very much for joining us. And let me just say, we do have a brand new hero actually in the chat. So we'll get into this, John. I'll explain what the heroes are because it will be helpful to our non-hero members. So we have Leif Halborg is our brand new RCTV hero. And basically, as an RCTV hero on the YouTube channel, you can hit the join button. And for just a few shekels per month, you get a 15% discount to the RCTV merch store on rcracingtv.com. You get priority follow requests on all sorts of things throughout qualifying and practice, although we are done with practice for this event. Dimpap saying hello and thanks for broadcasting. And it's by Rocktar. By Rock. Okay, all right. Well, I'll try to remember that, but it is spelled Bayraktar, so sorry. Oh, okay, I see. A Turkish military drone. Okay, all right.
Hey Frank, because the company RC Racing TV is based in the UK,
yeah.
Is it also that you have more followers from the UK, or is like
we have a lot. They're all over. We have a lot. As you can see, we've got a lot in Australia. Many people, obviously, they join us for the beginnings of the streams in Australia. We have a
because
few.
of the time difference.
Yeah, we have a few in like Indonesia. Not too many though. Obviously, there's a language barrier for some. We have quite a lot in America, so we welcome all of our American viewers who are joining us. Not a lot of American racers are into the 1/8 on-road scene, but in Europe, oh my gosh, so many fast drivers. David Angara is saying, when is the top heat racing? In 1 hour, maybe. So the top heat, I can tell you, David, today is going to be Batteria 8 or 8. See, I'm practicing my Italian, so I haven't been able to see David to impress upon him how much my Italian has improved over the months. But anyway, it's Group 8 is out at 3:55. That's Italian time, and then again at 5:35 Italian time. And Jonathan Wolf, one of our gold member heroes, saying, morning, everybody. Welcome to the triple world champion, David Angaro. Triple 8 plus the 10th in four-wheel drive. So, yes, our quadruple European champion, world champion. We've also got a couple of world champions in the pits and paddocks. We've got Dario Balestre. We have the legend himself, Lamberto Collardi. And we don't have Yillis.
Simon Kurzbuch.
Simon Kurzbuch, yes. Yep. Is that it, I think?
Simon Kurzbuch had the world champion in 2015.
Yeah, but I mean, is that it for our world champ count in paddock right now? Because we have Lamberto. Yillis isn't here.
Yeah.
Dario, obviously, and Salmon.
Yeah, you mean world champ?
That are here. That are racing.
That are here. So Simon is here.
Yeah.
And also Tony Gruber is here. He's not world champion in this class
yet. Yeah.
But he won the
I got that a bit
GT.
wrong. I got that a bit wrong in the Facebook Live yesterday on the EFRA Facebook channel. If you want to see the opening ceremony, check that out on the EFRA Facebook channel, Facebook page. Just search for RC Motorsport Europe. And I do try to. It is, a bit boring to watch local dignitaries speak, especially if it's not a language that you understand. But at the end, I do a little bit of a pit walk and just show people, show the viewers who are watching. So, I think we're already well into our third group of racing already. These guys are absolutely flying through. Oh no, we're on our second group now.
Second heat, yeah.
Yes. So, in this one, what we try to do is name the racers. Obviously, the names have popped up on the screen, but we have Ricardo Scalambro.
I think you need a little bit more practice on
your
your Italian.
Yeah, but that's a name. I mean, look at that. Scalambro. I need some help with that one.
You need to, if you point your fingers like this,
yes.
it will help.
Yes, I have to do that. Thyrsos Caralampos, Nadia Raiola.
Who is actually the sister
I was going to say Carmine. Yeah, wow.
She's the sister of
That's
Carmine.
amazing. Gianluca Dolciello. I know who's D'Angelo. Mr. D'Angelo is missing. Daniel Ialesi was world champ. Yes, he's got many engines as a world champ, and he's racing, obviously, as a racer himself. No Adrian Berton here. He's a world champion in this category as well. Greetings from the Virgin Islands, from St. Croix. So, St. Croix, from Akeem Seeley. And Jimmy Tonto saying, Ialesi was world champion. And of course, we have many questions coming in for David. So, David, I'll let you answer those. Jermaine saying, the track is awesome. The track is absolutely awesome. It is amazing. I actually had a little bit of a run this morning about 6 a.m. because 7, because I was up at 5 for some reason. I don't know why. But, it's absolutely lovely around here. There's olive gardens. There's literal olive gardens, not the restaurant, which don't go to those. Find a proper Italian restaurant if you're in the U.S. There's vineyards. We're right next to a vineyard. There's olive groves. I saw pear orchards. There's all sorts around here. It's lovely.
We could talk a little bit about the track, Frank, because
yes.
I see that people are saying that the track is awesome.
Yeah.
I spoke to a lot of Italians, and a lot of Italians like this track. This is actually my first time visiting. When I saw the track on pictures, and you're like, imagine yourself driving there, applying throttle and steering, and then when you come here, when I came here, it was like, oh, this is definitely not the same what I was thinking about. Because on the pictures, it seems like it's a really, it's a big track, but it looks not that big. But when you drive for the first time, it's like, I'm applying a little bit more longer throttle than I was in my mind there.
Yeah.
So And also, if you from this view here, from the commentary box, we have a very good view about the elevation change. You don't see it maybe when you're on a driver's restaurant, but the first corner over start finish, it's really maybe the lowest point of the track, and from there on, the track, the back straight or the front straight actually, is only uphill. So you maybe will think that my engine is not generating top speed or anything. But it is working on the top hill.
I'll see if we can show what the elevation change looks like from one of our cameras. I don't know why that one started glitching out there, but this is one of our cameras. It's sort of on like eye level to where we're at, so you can see how some of the corners are actually banked. That very final sweeper at the bottom end of the track, there's a bit of a banking to it.
Yeah, and the back straight chicane that is almost level. And then the way back and the right-hand chicane, or the right-hand sharp corner, where we have an extra camera set up because the fence is there in our view. From there on to the entering the straight corner, to the banked corner, it's go actually downhill again. So it is almost flat for only the straight and the last corner before we go onto the straight. So gives us a little bit, when you are driving to the final corner, or actually the first corner, you can feel also the car accelerate more faster out of the corner because it goes downhill. You really notice that while driving.
I was just trying to show we have a sort of a blind spot. If we stay with this, we got a bit of glitching. We'll see if we can get that sorted in a little bit. But this bright green car, we're trying to follow it. So we have this corner cam there. You can just about catch it. Gonna have to move some of these cameras a little bit. I had to put some rain cover on the camera, so I may have moved it just a bit. Here's our pit lane. You see Teodoro there on the bottom left. He's one of our AMSHI officials who's helping organize the racing this weekend, or this whole week. And there's lots and lots of club volunteers. So, and there's our corner cam. I'm gonna have to see if I can somehow, in a break, move that up a little bit. Our main camera seems to have some little tiny bit of issues, but we'll see if we can sort that out. And there's our results for again, after each one of these qualifiers come so fast that if we start talking about one topic, suddenly the race, it's only 4 minutes.
Yeah, we are already.
So it finishes like so fast.
It's in time for heat number 3 already. So.
Yeah. So we have just some comments in the chat saying, is Lamberto Collari still racing? He is. He is actually here. And Jonathan Wolf saying he's the absolute GOAT of 8th track racing. He certainly is. Franco Mikado saying, "Go John Ehrman."
Yeah,
Malandro.
And I met this Franco in Puerto Rico. He's a really nice guy. Hang out with there when I was there last December for a race. Hi Franco. A really cool location there in Barceloneta in Puerto Rico. And whenever I go racing in the winter, in Holland in the winter there's no racing. It's cold, it's freezing, and there you step out of the airplane. Hey, 30 degrees. Let's go racing. I'm really curious to see how the faster guys will finish their run, if they can finish their run, because just like I said earlier, it's really a track heavy on the throttle.
Yeah.
So your engine will also use a little bit more fuel than the quite shorter tracks. And I am quite curious to see if everybody in the last seat can finish their 4 minutes, because I have already done some tests and I think it's quite critical to make the 4 minutes in qualification. And if you miss out on the last lap, well, that's not really good for your position.
Oh no.
So maybe we will see also some positioning before the first lap started, like we also sometimes see. A good example in the Formula 1 and the Monza track. People are always like lining up and like getting their track position. I think we'll also see that happening here. Although the track is quite big, so we have enough space for all 10 cars or 8 cars to space out to start their runs.
So just to clarify, in this one, we are looking, it's 4 minutes. Obviously, the most number of laps that you can do in those 4 minutes, and obviously sorted by your fastest overall time, right? So 4:01 is in 15 laps is better than 4:03 in 15 laps, for example.
And it's also better than a lap less in 3:3:55. And the point that we were, EFRA is racing with a qualification with point system. So the points are divided by round. So every round we have like a ranking. You get points for this ranking, and then this ranking is set aside. And then we have 5 rounds of qualifying. Each round we will have this system in place. And from the 5 rounds we will have 3 rounds that count. So you could have some bad luck in 1 or 2 rounds because the best of 3 will count for your final ranking before we go into the lower finals.
Yeah, and we will certainly be doing our very best to talk to the top qualifier in each round of qualifying.
I sure hope that it's every round someone else, because then we get some little bit more insights in the racing.
I was talking to Tony earlier about it, and he said it's really, really tight because there are some slightly different names than the usual 1 or 2 names that we see at the top.
Yeah, and I assume that those different names are Italian because
but
I feel
not Balestre.
No, okay, but I always feel when we visit Italy there are always some local guys or at least Italians who have been practicing here for weeks, and they have gotten really, really fast here. And they can also compete with the other guys who are usually really fast, like Koesboek or Balestri. So it will be great to see some different names in the finals to battle it out with the other well-established names.
Yeah, we see the cars coming out of the pits. So to start there, you see the time has started, the top left. And there's our internal corner cam. One of our I don't know, would you call that a hairpin? That bit there that's where that orange car has just gone through? I mean, it looks like a hairpin on camera.
It is a hairpin, yeah.
And how would you say that the traction has changed? I mean, you were here from Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday was kind of a rain-off, right?
Well, traction is not really, the build-up in the traction is not really high. Also, the change in traction is not really, also the rain didn't affect the traction a lot. I think before we came here on Monday, there was already a big black ideal line on the track, which means that there have been running for some time and a lot of running, which laid down the traction actually. So also after the rain, I think maybe after 1 or 2 heats, the biggest dirt was driven off the track, and the traction was back where it was at the end of Monday.
And now the traction, obviously these cars aren't laying down actual rubber like a electric touring car race.
No.
So they're, these are open cell foam tires. But so what is actually laying down the rubber? Is it literally the oil from the engine?
Yeah, well, it is the oil from the engines that lays down the traction. You will see the black lines on the track. They are more black after a corner than before a corner, because after a corner the cars accelerate, the exhaust spits out more oil, so to speak. And it will lay down traction. Of course, also rubber has an effect because it is foam, but still the mixture of rubber and the oil that is sticking the rubber will make the traction go a little bit higher. So as we are continuing heat number 3, we see guys already turning in laps that are below 16 seconds. The fast guys are doing 15.2s, 15.3s, and I have already seen 15.0 lap times. But we will see what will happen at the end of this round when the fast guys are on track. I already see that this is qualification number 3, Frank, and I need to drive in 4. So I'm gonna lay down my mic, and I will be back whenever I'm finish my. So maybe you can report on my driving.
Yes,
I will drive safely and neatly so that I won't make mistakes, because else I will look like a fool.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
All right. So John is off. So no. Yeah. All right. John is off and away to get his time on the track. Thank you very much, John, for joining us. He will be back after his run. There he goes. You can see him on the camera there. He's off and running. So yes, so we're just sorting out some some early technical issues with our moving camera. Don't worry, cars are out on track. You see there's a minute and 10 seconds left in this one. So we have De Fuoco, Navazio, Gulling, Trinco, Lawyer, Sapala, Levy, and Hook. And I think, have we already started getting some rain? I thought I felt a spot of rain there. Although we are in like this wooden shed, we have possibly some rain coming in the next couple of hours. Hopefully not too much. Early estimates said it was like, what was it, like 15 millimeters of rain, which doesn't sound like a lot. But if you put that out over, a few square kilometers, a couple square miles, that's a lot of rain. So, John is getting ready. So I'll just go through the live chat. So thank you very much, everybody who is partaking and talking to everybody else. DTart20 saying, shame that 1/8 scale on-road isn't as popular in the U.S. I believe it is a lack of tracks that can support this class. European on-road tracks seem to be generally larger and can allow cars to open up more. This is very true. Obviously, where we were last year in Portugal, in Villarreal, very popular with the 1/8, 1/10, and even the large scale, the 1/5 scale guys. I've been there several times. My first time was for large scale on road, which was amazing. One of my favorite classes, and we do hope to get back there soon. But we were just there last year. That track I would say, it's a little bit larger than this, but it's pretty much flat. This track has a lot of proper elevation changes, as we were trying to point out. And yes, a lot of the tracks, we are just on the edge of a sporting complex here. There's padel, which is sort of like European pickleball. There's a couple of padel courts. There's a covered tennis court, which we can hear people playing inside. We can hear them playing inside from the outside, if you know what I mean. And then obviously there's the track, and we had the mayor, we had the sporting counselor of the local region, we had various local dignitaries come by last night for the opening ceremony. Again, you can catch that on EFRA Facebook page, and we're right next to a main road as well. We are right next to a vineyard, so basically farmland. There's some wooded area behind us on the other side of the track, but on three sides we've got woods, vineyard, and a sporting complex, and people will just stop on the main road and just stop and just watch, and they go, they hear the cars from where we're at, a couple of miles away. You can actually hear them across the valley, so it's quite amazing. So lots and local support, even though if you hated the sound of nitro engines, I can see people complaining, but it's part of the local community. It's government supported, I guess, is one way to put it. And in the States, it's a different sort of thing. It's there's not a lot of local and government support for the tracks. It kind of just depends where you're at, really. The tracks usually tend to be business-based rather than club-based. So if you have a sporting club, it's a little bit different. In the UK and Europe, sporting clubs have been around for over 100, almost 200 years in some cases. And so there's a long history of the government providing land for sports clubs and things like that. So it's very, very different. And yeah, it is unfortunate that there aren't tracks this size and type in the U.S. Been to one, I think, just outside of Cleveland. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it was very, very nice. It was on the edge of a park. But even in the UK and in Holland, where some of these clubs have been going for decades, they're under threat, which is a really unfortunate thing. But let's move on and let's see what else the other comments are saying. Jonathan Wolf saying, I'd love to give this class a try. I would say, if you do, borrow a car. And many more people saying hello to John. I'm sure he'll come back to those very, very friendly and encouraging comments in a couple races' time. He is in this next race right now. Hello from the UK. Good to hear John E. commentating. Great addition to the RC Racer team. Thank you very much. Andrew Pierce, one of our Silver Hero members, saying, "Do it! Just started, and it's even more fun than it looks." Skunk City RC saying, "Love the cornering speed." And Bayraktar Man is saying, Kiev has an insane sporting complex called X Park, which sounds like a cool place to hopefully go to someday. So we've got the wind blowing our shed door open again, so it's getting a little bit testy out there. So we're still in our warm-up period of Heat 4, and I'll run through the drivers in this one. So, yeah, so apologies for not jumping straight in, but we do have, JWRC saying hello from Vegas. Hello. Las Vegas, otherwise known as Lost Wages. I know it's an old joke, but, you know, it's all true. So car number 1 is John Ehrman, who's will be on the mic, back on the mic with us in just a few minutes. And then we have Luca Manganella, Fabian Barringer, Fabrizio Iordi, Riccardo Ricci, John Sotiropoulos, Eric Nugier, and Franco Desiderio. I'm going to have to find Franco because he's actually helping. If it is him, I think it is, Franco Desiderio of RC1 Racing, one of our sponsors this weekend. And we also like to thank X-Ray, Lens Bodies, Infinity, Energy, Fuels, and RCXX.shop for supporting us. We're here at the EFRA 1/8 IC Track European Championships in Locorotondo, Italy. If you look at the map of Italy, we're just literally at the top of the the top of the heel, which makes up that boot-shaped peninsula of Italy. And that other guy, 2019, saying hi from the UK. So hello, that other guy, 2019. So John is running in a slightly different heat than he normally would be. He's normally going to be in group, I believe, 6, but he's running in group 4, just so he can commentate on the racing for us. So we do apologize for the lack of moving camera. We are attempting to sort it out. I think we are back. There we are. So Zach has been running back and forth on his gammy leg. So thank you very much. Or as you would say in Italian, la gamba rota. Ooh, we got a stop and go for car number 9. Who's that? That is, there is no car number 9. I missed car number 2, actually, of Luca Manganella. And I think, is this John that we're following now? The numbers do come by very, very, very fast. So I do apologize if I've, is that bank sweeper? And oh my gosh, I can't see the number. There's no number on the right side of the car. It's just on the front. So apologies, John, if this is you, but I think it is, but I'm absolutely not sure. John runs his race paint, so I believe this is him in the car 1. Currently running 7th is John. So we've got Richie, Nuger, Iordi, Behringer, Desiderio, Manganella, and John Ehrman. So let me see if give Zach a little bit of a test here. See if we can find the car number 5, who's just gone underneath us, actually, Zach. The white, black, and bright yellow car. There we go. And we'll see if we can follow this one around the track. So we've got we have some alternate camera angles. So that one needs to be sorted out, but I'll see if I can get to that in between the rounds. It's just pointing a little bit too low. So yeah, this is the car number 5 of our current leader of this round, or this group, I should say, Riccardo Ricci. Bayraktar Man saying, will there be any nighttime racing under the lights at this event? Judging from last night's, well, I'll say this, no, because the time, the racing will finish at 5, just before 6. So it's not quite dark enough to get into the lights. There are lights around, but they're not quite dark enough, not quite bright enough, I think. Probably need twice as many to really be able to race under the lights. So Zach, we could drop back one car, just follow someone else. There we go, this pink and white, I think it is. Oh, and that's the end of the run anyway. So that one finished with the car that we were just following of Ricci, and then Nuger, Iordi, Berenger, Desiderio, Manganella, and Ehrman. I think maybe slightly distracted by having to rush over. So apologies to that for that, John. But yeah, we are taking his focus away from the racing this weekend. But we do massively appreciate his efforts to join us to bring you some excellent live coverage from Locorotondo in Italy. So we have several minutes now of warm-up. So it's 4 minutes of qualifying and then 6 minutes of basically swap over, and then I think of warm-up. So it's about 2 minutes and then 4 minutes of warm-up. 2 minutes of swap over, 4 minutes of warm-up, and then 4 minutes again of driving. So at the end of that 4 minutes of warm-up, you come in at maybe about 3:45 or so, 3 minutes 45 minutes, 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and then the rest of the time is you'll fuel up, and then you have 4 minutes of qualifying. So, John. Oh, here we go. John, yeah. how was that run for you? Because
I don't know if you guys had that on camera, but
I think we may have distracted you a little bit.
No, not really. But yeah, well, this guy opened up at the far end back straight, and then the next corner he was over pushing and hit me on the inside. So.
Oh, okay. I think we were following you. Are you the blue? Yeah, you're the blue and gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
actually, the colors have numbers. There's a story behind the colors. Yeah, because the sponsor of mine is a good friend of mine. And also a good friend of my dad who passed away in 2019. And he said to me, John, I'm going to name a color for your dad. It's Reese Gray.
Oh,
it's
right.
actually the Nardo Gray from Audi.
Yeah.
But he called it Reese Gray for my father. And I'm like asking him for years to get my own named color, because he does change the names a little bit while riding, so that it's not too obvious.
Yeah.
And that bluish kind of car I developed together with him, and it's copied of a Porsche color, blue. It's called Miami Blue, but now it's Ehrman Blue. So it's Ehrman spelled Urman and not Ermen. So it's Ehrman Blue with Reese Gray, actually.
That's pretty cool. You can never go wrong with something that's like named for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm also bound to these colors. I cannot change them. Can't change them anyway. So in this qualification, we have some young guys in here. I always like to look at the young talent in the sport. We have Luca Romagnoli, who is let's say not really young. So I think he's 16 or 17 years old. He is also from the Romagnoli family, who was also, I think his uncle has ran before. Of course, we have Ilasi Luca Valentin, who is the son of Daniele.
He's probably got a pretty good engine, I would think.
I probably guess. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. And we have also a young guy from France, Baptiste Jimenez. Those guys, when when you get older, Frank, you see that the young guys get faster, and then it's like pressing you, because you see those guys getting faster, and you are not improving anymore. So
I always like it when we talk to what we call our dads and lads, the fathers who are bringing up their kids, whether they're female, male, whatever. And we always ask the dads, okay, so at what point did you figure out they're faster than you?
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult decision to make when now I stop and help my son because he's better than me. Yeah.
I mean, it's great to see. I think RC is absolutely perfect for that. I mean, there are many hobbies that are great for bringing in, your kids or whatever, nieces, nephews. Young people into the sport, but I think RC is absolutely perfect for that. There's so many things that you can teach about RC.
It's definitely a father-son or daughter-father kind of hobby you can do, for sure. I also saw in my heat, which is not the fastest one, people are already struggling with finishing up on the last lap. So I was behind someone who was already running empty in the last lap. So I'm really curious to see how the fast heats are going. Maybe we can look up Luca Ilasi. Let's see which car he has. It
is very hard to see some of the numbers because we have to spot them here.
Yeah,
and tell Zach the car underneath us now or whatever is car number such and such, but we have to tell them the color basically. So if we know the color that he is, that's the best thing for Zach. So if we know what number is he?
He is number 6.
Young Luca. Or Valentin, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Luca.
Luca Valentin. Okay, so we have 2 Lucas in this one. It's just slightly confusing, but we'll try and find that car. There we go. So this is the white and red that has just going into the infield, just past the pylon, Zach.
Yeah, the back straight.
If we look here, we can spot him. That's Luca Valentin Ilasi.
Yeah, I think he has, like you said, he must have a good engine, and also he has a father with who's Daniele. He's also been European champion. I think he's also world champion in 110 skill, but don't know for sure.
And Sabrina is a pretty good pit lady herself.
Yeah, mechanic. Yeah. So the Ilasi family is all into racing 100%. So I think if he really likes, because I think always with the young people, they have get this age when they're 13, 14, 15, have interest in other stuff like racing, girls or something. There's like this critical,
bikes, all sorts of things. Yes.
Yeah, there's a critical point where they stop for a little bit or taking a break. But I think if he keeps on running what he is doing, then he could be also a very good one. If you see the lines that he's driving, he's running tight lap times of. Let's see. Last time by was a 15.7, which was actually his fastest lap. Fastest lap of this heat is a 15.5 of Tilo and Luca, just improving his lap time with a 15.5. I think he's running a little late on the start finish because let's see when the next time he comes by. On which position? On second position. 1 second behind Tilo, which is.
I thought you were going to say, "Oh, young Tilo, he's one of our young
No, he's definitely not young. He's from Germany, also a good friend of mine. Tilo is running the green body shell now in the hairpin.
He's in the lead actually at the moment.
Yeah.
So
and he has, I don't know if back is now on the straight.
Is that him just coming up the straight?
Yeah, the green car at the end of the straight.
Yeah. So if you look here, you can see we're on him.
Indeed, the second green car, Zach. I think this car in front of him needs to open because he's losing a little bit of time now.
Really? So this is one of the technical sorts of things from a racer's perspective that I was curious about. I mean, it seems to me like obviously if that was full-size racing, it's not exactly nose to tail, is it? But there's that 3 or 4 meters in space, and that to you. He's close enough to make a pass. Yeah,
for sure. Because we're racing in a staggered start setup right now, so everybody runs their own times. This is in racing somewhat difficult sometimes because it is racing, and you think you are in front of a car that you are also on the timing sheets in front of the car, but you are actually not because your own time has started on at its own moment. But 3 meters, yeah. Well, if the front car makes a steering error or brakes a little bit earlier, or his engine doesn't pick up the right way out of a corner, the 3 meters is nothing. You are already at the back of the car. So yeah, if you are with 3 meters inside qualification, I can say you could open. You could open in a fast corner or a slow corner. I prefer a slow corner because then it's more easier to open. You maybe lose.
Oh, he's just run out of fuel. Tilo.
Yeah. Run out of fuel. 3:54.
And another car right there.
So this was his last lap, actually. This Marshall's carrying another car, so there are 2 cars.
Oh yeah, you can see on our timing.
Luca,
he's red.
Luca's also out of fuel.
Oh, there's cars flaming out all over on the main straight. We've got a car on the far end. We've got that was young Iolacy flaming out as well. Another car flaming out. So who's actually made any sort of time here? 16 laps.
Yeah,
in 4:11.
You just saw the father of Romagnoli also. No, there was someone else, but
wow,
3 cars did not finish,
so
and we are in heat number 5.
What?
So,
well, I mean, Tilo is. I mean, he literally teaches people how to race nitro cars. So how can you get it wrong? This like a great topic. Or is that like a can
No,
of worms?
no. Listen. This is a great topic to talk about because if we look at the electric class, they have batteries. They started with nickel metal hydrate, or how do you call it now? We have lipos.
Yeah.
But the amount of milliamps that go inside a battery was, I think, 20 years ago, 2,000. Now they have 10,000. I always say they get a bigger tank every year, every year. But we are still doing 30 years with 125 cc. But the how do you say that? The
evolution.
The evolution of, thank you, Frank. The evolution of the engines are getting, they are not stopping. But also tuning is getting to the maximum. Tuning means more fuel consumption, means more speed. And nowadays it's literally to find a balance between speed and fuel consumption, especially on tracks like these. Also, where we were last year at Villarreal in Portugal, we had the same issue because it was a very big track. We did lap times of, I think, 19-20 seconds. Then you are always on the throttle. And then to make the last lap of 20 seconds, then it's literally need to choose. Do I use a smaller insert in the engine so that the power goes down and I have a little bit of less fuel consumption? Or maybe do I risk it by leaning the engine to the maximum and hope it will reach and it will not destroy? It's always in my opinion, because of the fuel tank. It's still 125 cc. Didn't get bigger in the last 30 years, but the engines did get faster.
Yeah, I mean the technical. I mean, obviously the size and dimensions and all that of the cars, the layout of the cars has all stayed the same. It's a bit like 1/8 buggy. Ever since the the Inferno came out, all the cars have started looking like those. But we have, like you said, we haven't seen the fuel sizes, fuel tanks get larger, but that's kind of down to, the choice of the engine tuners. But I mean, some of these guys are coming here with like 8, maybe 10 engines, and picking the power engine over the lean engine. And that's a whole other. that's a topic that could take days to discuss.
I'm
sure. But
and also, what comes into play is downforce. Also, during the years, the body shells did change a lot, and they gave the car more downforce, which gave the cars more cornering speed. So you could be on the throttle more of the time, and when you are driving then on a track that has a lot of traction, you are almost not lifting off throttle. I think if you look here, only in the hairpins, you are really off throttle. The other corners, you're maybe lifting a little bit, especially at the end of the straight. You come here full throttle, you lift, or you even tap the brake a little, and then you are already on throttle half a second or a second later. No, not a second, half a second later.
So do you think if the fuel tanks were possibly just allowed to be maybe 135 or 140 cc,
probably that won't solve the problem, because then engine tuners have more free of hand to tune the engine even more faster.
But I mean that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it's down to the engine tuners to make the engine last for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, 4 minutes plus 1 lap, isn't it? So but also the racers have to choose a not so thirsty engine.
Yeah, that's true. I think, to be honest, if we change the downforce of the cars to be much less, then we also solve this problem. Because then you cannot be on the throttle always, and then you have less fuel consumption. And then also the critical of the engine would not be that critical. So you don't need to lean it out and risk to destroy an engine in qualifying or something.
Oh, these cars the body shells are basically just gigantic Venturi tunnels, aren't they? Like a 112 scale or 110 scale pan car.
Reverse wings, actually.
yeah. And they haven't changed. I mean, for a little while they went open cockpit, but now they're all closed cockpit again. So it's just, I remember, 20 years ago, the Lola was the car that everybody used, but the Lola car hadn't raced in real terms in like 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
But still, it's kind of an old school thing, but crossover with this like underneath the body shell that seems to look the same across all of them, but there's tiny little differences. Underneath the body shell, there's like so much going on. And again, we can talk about that later. but all the intricacies of what changes to do and for what. But anyway, there's a lot going on. So we've got we have one of our top British racers of Alex Thurston in this one, but is also got a countryman of Tim Wood. Alex coming across the first. Persante Fernandez, McCugney, Lewis Kruger.
Yeah, David Kruger is also one of the younger guys. I think he's still under 18.
I think Luca Betti is one of the young guys, isn't he, as well?
I don't know this
this
racer.
I seem to think that maybe in 1/10. I can't remember if he was in T-Unvel or not.
And our newly crowned European champion over 40 is in this run. Thomas Etiar from France.
Ah, okay.
He's usually, I think we are following now with the number 5 car. Yeah, the yellow car. Zach is now following. This is Thomas Etiar from France. I think it was not even a month ago that he won this championship on his home track.
Yeah, it was at Bourg-en-Bresse, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bourg-en-Bresse is his home track, actually. So.
Well, that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, helps a lot, yeah.
But yeah, it's an easy comment to make, but these races do move around quite a lot. So yes, there is home track advantage and home country advantage sometimes, but yeah, it doesn't. The tracks, these championships move around every single year. But just in the chat, just like to say, reply to some of the questions in the chat. So first of all, hello to Rick Vanderboel. Thank you for joining us. Rick, one of our large-scale touring car racers. We had some other questions. David Alassi has a brother. Not sure. Oh, no. Yes, 2 brothers. One brother, Daniele, has 2 sons. You have many people saying, Jill Salvin saying, hello, John.
No, Jill Salvin's actually here on the track.
Well, yeah, I said hello to Michael a few times as I walked past him.
Hi, Jill. Welcome in the stream.
And we have viewers even from the Philippines. So there we go. This is one of my home countries. So this is our first actual heat that has 10 racers in it. So it's all the others have had 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah, I think they did that to spread the heats a little bit out and to fill all groups with minimal of 8 people.
So yes, one of the questions that we had was, are there touring car racers in this championships? No, Nitro Touring Car was several weeks ago in Thionville, France, and that was basically dominated by Mr. Dario Balestre, who is racing here, and he is the current 1/8 IC track champion, world champion, and I believe he's also he's the defending European champion as well. I could not tell you off the top of my head how many European and world championships he has. It's probably more than one of each. In
for
all
sure.
those classes.
Yeah. There was some cars colliding.
Yeah, the referees are working overtime in this one. So
also in this heat we see a lot of Italians. I think I don't know if they are all local, but they are really fast. For example, Dante Persante is driving a best time of 15.5, which is decent time. He's leading at the moment, the group.
Yeah, I've spotted that young Thurston has dropped out of this one with just 9 laps.
His car is already intact, so
Yeah.
I think he ran into some issues.
So we have the
funny story that in this heat is also driving Calvo Fernando Alva. So wait a minute, I will redo that. Calvo Alvaro Fernandez. This is a Spanish driver, also a very good driver. And I had a really good battle with this guy last year in Villarreal, where we were head-to-head in the last chance final, which I led. Unfortunately, 5 minutes before the end, because he made not at the end, because he made a move which he tried several moves, but one move did stick, and I could not defend this place, which brought me the 11th place on the championship, which was actually my best result. So I was happy with the result. Too bad I was not in the final, but it was really cool racing, especially when you hear like a dozen or 24 of Spanish people yelling at you at the side of the track to give it an extra dimension.
Yeah.
So I see everybody. Oh no, only one driver did not get to the finish line, but all the others did.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a shame for Alex, but it's a pretty decent track record for that particular heat. The next heat we have coming up, as just want to say that Orfeo Tremor is saying, "What's up, John Erman?"
What's up, Orfeo?
So the next heat,
I did tell some friends of mine that I was doing the live commentating. So
that's
I think they will hook up the stream.
As long as they pop in and
say hello
and share the stream, share it on whatever socials you are, and make a comment if you can. Fabulous, that's great. Mark Stiles saying, "Up the Brits." Where have you been, Mark? We've missed you. It's been a while since we've seen Mark on track. And just like number 1 car in this next race, Lamberto Collari making his once-a-year appearance at the Euros.
I think we also should have a really close look to Ciro Mollo, because this was a really fast guy who posted one of the fastest times this week already. Now the official timing starts with handout tires. I'd love to see this guy, where he ends up. Like I said earlier, it would be nice to see some new faces in the top 10 final to battle it out. Yeah,
for sure. It will be. I've also. I mean, Marco, car number 4 in the next one, Vigerding. Yes. He has a really cool pit space, I remember, from last year in Portugal. He has it's all labeled, and I've
seen it.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
His father is really into ordering stuff. I was at the previous race. I was also pitting next to him, and I said, "Hey, do we maybe have a screw M3 countersunk 13 millimeter?" So he opened up a drawer, and literally screws were labeled by the box by hand, and I was a little bit jealous. I am from labeling and ordering, but this guy was really next level.
I know. I waver. Well, like if I had the space and the time, I would do that. But sometimes it's just chuck everything in a plastic jar.
Yeah, and the next day you will think, I will clean this out one time, and then you will end up throwing it all away.
Oh yeah, Mark. Yeah, sorry. I had you confused with another Mark Mark Green, who used to run Serpent in 1/8. So yeah, sorry about that. But Mark saying, "I race 1/12 skill, Frank. We hibernate in the summer." So I was going to mention. So NYC67 says, "Where's Robert Peach?" I did want to mention this. I talked to Robert at the last ETS event that not that we attended, but that I attended. It's back in Austria. And I was asking him, I was like, "So what's up? Are you going to be racing maybe at the Euros?" And he said, "No, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be at the Worlds either." Or no, they don't have a new car basically, the Mugen car.
Yeah.
So he's not racing. There are several Mugen racers here, but Robert is not. So Robert, one of those, another one of those many friendly and familiar faces around the pits and paddock, the 1/8 scale. So it's a bit of a shame, but He's
I think he's now a little bit more
the electric.
a little bit more focused on
yeah.
the touring car electric. Yeah,
he's not even racing it. He's just like mechanicking and helping Robert Volker,
I think
Ronald Volker, and
Danko,
all the
also
other,
a friend
all
of
the other team members there. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Let's see. So yeah, so everyone has checked in. We haven't started time yet.
Yeah, you're talking about Mugen drivers. I'm checking in this heat if somebody drives Mugen. I need to check some cars by the stickers, but
yes,
because I don't know all the names. But
you know what? I was looking at your car on your pit table, and you don't have stickers on the chassis. I didn't see your body shell, and I was looking at it, I'm like, well, it's not red, so it's not a Capricorn.
It's not blue. It's not a Shepherd.
Yeah.
It's not black, so it's not an Infinity or a Mugen or a Serpent.
I don't know what it is. I literally have no idea what the car is.
It is an ARC.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think in the 1/8 scale, rather new brand, because I think Infinity may be a little bit newer, maybe 1 year, by 1 year, but all the other established brands like X-Ray, Serpent, Mugen, we know them all. But this brand started to bring out a 1/8 scale back in 2015, so it's only 9 years on the market.
And it's I mean, from a brand promotion sort of perspective, it's really difficult to just launch a new brand. It takes tons of money and loads. You have to get like lots of local support and then a top racer or two, like a Ronald Volker or Robert Peach or someone like that to go, oh, this car can actually win something, so maybe I'll buy it. And then you have to have the parts support as well. So there's so much that goes into it. NYC 667, and where is Dominic Greiner? Well, I can answer that. He has stopped racing Nitro. He's concentrating on the Serpent electric car, just like Robert Peach is concentrating on the Mugen electric touring car.
I just want to say something in between, Frank, because it looks like Lamberto was too late at the start.
Really?
Yeah, his first lap was a 10-second, which means he missed the start by 10 seconds. So I saw him exiting the pit lane rather late.
He's a lap down on everybody.
Yeah, so he missed the start by 10 seconds.
So, even multiple, I mean, how many world championships do he have?
9.
So like 9. I was going to say 9.
9.
Isn't it? So, and that's, unfortunate, but it does happen. Even to literally the best people, the best racers. Someone has just gone off the track. I can't see the number. I think it looks like a 6 or an 8.
Yeah, we are now following the number 9 car, the yellow car, which is Tobias Süttrich from Austria. A little bit out of focus now, but we're seeing car number 8 brought back to the pits, which is Domanin Filippo.
Ah, yes, young Filippo.
Yeah.
Not racing here with his brother. I can't remember his brother's name.
Does he have a brother?
Yes, he has a younger brother who's just not, he races, but he's not like that into racing. Filippo is like really into it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's come off the track.
The father of Filippo raced with my brother.
Really? Fabio?
Yeah, Fabio, yeah. He's also a well-known figure in the sport.
Yeah, Fabio looks like he's having a couple of words with someone else in the pits, but I can't quite tell who that is. You see that orange car there on the left of the picture. That is Filippo's car. We'll go back to the moving camera now. So we're still on the, I think this is the number 9.
Yeah, this is just before we zoomed in on Filippo getting brought back into the pit lane. This is Tobias Süttrich from Austria. He is also pitting next to me. I'm actually pitting between Germany and Austria.
Well, you're the only Dutch racer, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true. But we, I think a long time ago, in EFRA races, we were like grouped together by country.
Yeah.
And I think now it's a little bit less important.
It's not enforced.
No, it's not enforced. So we are actually I am standing next to Marco Weigerding and Tobias Süttrich, who actually drive the same engine brand as me. But if you walk around in the pits, you will also see people who drive the same car as one another. To just pit next to each other and exchange experience, exchange setup.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It does.
But all the ELAC drivers are all pitting together. So there's Gruber and Thurston and several of his drivers are all together. So that helps.
Yeah.
You could drop back a car, Zach. I think it's a pair of cars racing together.
Well, actually not, because
the
blue car is Colari.
Yeah. Okay. They spread out a little bit. So that's the 0 and the 1. The 0 is Sasha Klug. So we have a question from Jacob Scobie saying they only run 4 minutes qualifier Nitro on-road question. How long are the A-mains? Well, the A final is going to be 45 minutes long. So, yes, there's going to be about a bajillion fuel stops in that one. The semis, I think, are either 20 or 30 minutes each.
30 minutes.
So 2 30-minute semifinals, and those, the top, I think it's top 6 racers go into the main final, which, again, 45 minutes long. For the World Championships, for IFMAR World Championships, that's an hour-long race. But for the Europeans, it is 45 minutes. And that is everybody finishing, except for Tobias Sutrick. Again, as we noted earlier, John spotted that right off, Lamberto missing the first lap. So he would have had 16 laps with 15, who knows, or 4 minutes, whatever.
Yeah, minus 10 seconds, so that will be 56. Then an average of 15 seconds, so that will be in 11. So you would have been somewhere between, I think, 5 and 7 placed here. Because he missed the start by 10 seconds, so we need to deduct that. But then it would be the question, could he have made the last lap?
Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody finishing except Tobias. So
and Filippo.
Yeah, okay, obviously he crashed.
I don't know what happened here.
I think we are also a little bit lucky with the weather. I say with the temperature then, because if it would be a real Italian summer temperature like 40 degrees, then the fuel consumption went up even more.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I mean, you would just run as lean as you can, but you would run an engine that isn't requiring so much, that isn't quite so thirsty.
Yeah. But that is also can be part of engine setup. For example, we have in the carburetor an insert. Maximum allowed opening is 9mm, but you can go down 8.5 or 8, which reduces power, but increases or also reduces fuel consumption. But you can also play with needles in the carburetor, or maybe gearing come into play. Because if you use a lower gearing, let's say that when the engine makes more RPM is also more fuel usage. You will see this definitely come into play in the finals, because when you calculate your fuel consumption from the heat, you have 5 minutes or 4 minutes of qualification, 3 minutes of warm-up, that's 7 minutes of running with new tires. You calculate your fuel consumption on that running, but whenever you are doing a final of 20 minutes, 30 minutes or 45 minutes, after the first stint, everything in the car gets way hotter. The chassis, the bulkheads. Also, the engine cannot cool through guidance of the aluminium parts in the car. So, also when everything gets a little bit hotter, your fuel consumption goes up. Tire wear goes up. Tires go smaller, so fuel consumption also goes up. So, it's a little bit tricky always when you are calculating fuel for the longer runs. But that's all part of the game. Setting up gearing. Playing with inserts, setting up the engine, of course. Also maybe head shims can also cause you to use more or less fuel consumption.
So much to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So speaking of all these playing around with settings and everything, we got the top heat is out.
Yeah. We have all familiar names in this heat. Raiola, Gruber, Kusbu, Balestri, Gandin, Salemi, Tironi, Matteo, Catanzani, also a young Italian, which was really fast this week, and Lorenzi. Also, those two, Catanzani and Lorenzi, is one of the lesser established names, I think. But they are fast at times, which is now. So let's see how will pan out. Also a spread of different engine and car brands in in this heat. Serpent, Catanzani, Raiola, Infinity, Gruber, Capricorn, Korsburg, Mugen, Dario, of course, Infinity. Lorenzi, I not know for sure, so I'm not gonna name that one. Gandin, if I remember correctly, was Serpent. Then we have Mirko Salemi, Capricorn, Tironi, Infinity, and Matteo, also a Capricorn. So as they are doing their final warm-up laps, we had 2 time practices, which gave us the opportunity to run in some new tires. So that can also come into play, because I have the experience that when the tires get a little bit smaller, you get more speed, a faster lap time. So if you don't know for sure if all guys are on used tires or on a new tire. This is also going to be close, because the guy already exited the pit lane.
So, Zach, if we can, just follow. We're going to have, about 15 laps total for these guys. Just follow each car for maximum 2 laps and just drop back and back and back.
Yeah, first car we are following is the last car who exited the pit lane. He was really tight on starting. Just 2 seconds over the start was already on. Let me check which car that is. It's the number 6 car of Thomas Lorenzi. Driving an Infinity car, I see now on the stickers. Going through the field, following the orange with yellow, which is Mirko Salemi, running for Capricorn. Has won some major races last year. I think his biggest victory was the one in Leno. He is now currently on 8th position with lap times of 15.7, 15.5. Next up is the number 10 car of Matteo Alessio. Cars are spaced out evenly. If the level is quite the same of all drivers, then they do not need to open a lot, which also can save them some time in opening, because every time they need to open they will lose some time, obviously. Next car is the yellow and white number 7 of Jonathan Gandin. All these drivers are running on the limit, obviously. Doesn't look that he's even closing the gap between the number 10 car, but not really. Very close, everything. So we have the first 4 drivers are in the same second. They are actually 6/10 apart, and that is Dario, Raiola, Catanzani and Gruber. They are very, very close. We are now following the gray car of the number 5 car. That is Dario.
Ah, there we go. Our defending champion.
Defending champion. He's hunting down Salemi, who should be opening soon, because Dario is running way faster. This is all where it comes down to, because if he does not open fast enough, he'd lose tenths of seconds, which can actually cause him the TQ run. Because when you come close by, maybe you can feel a little bit the disturbances of downforce running so close to another car, but also you need to change a little bit your flow, because the other car drives a little bit of different lines, different braking points. But as I'm speaking, he already passed it. Still leading but it is by margin, and by margin I mean 6,000ths of a second. In 3.5 minutes. Andrea Catanzani is behind. 2/10 behind Catanzani is Raiola, and 3/10 behind Raiola is Tony Gruber. And 1 second down on Gruber is Kurzbuch. So from one to
car 6 that we're on now.
Car 6.
Thomas Lorenzi.
Yeah. So coming up on finishing, Balestri. 4:04.3.
Balestri just went in the pits.
He's already finished.
Mr. Massimo of Max Power picking his car up. So yes, Balestri has the first round TQ.
It looks like all cars except Thomas Lorenzi has finished, and you see all cars stopping where they are on the track because they don't want to finish the lap and running empty.
Oh yeah, wow.
Or maybe they are empty. So it is super close. They finish at the beginning of the straight and are empty at the end of the straight.
Okay, so I think there's going to be a little bit of a break here. So if there is, I'm going to grab Dario because we can. Yes, there will be. We have about 20 minutes or so. So if you will clip that to your chest, John, I will clip this, and we will go to. We'll just take a little bit of a break, and I'll talk John through our qualifying, or what we're going to be doing for the top qualifier interview. All right, sorry about the lack of sound there. We had some issues there. We need to actually get his microphone back. He walked away with our mic. Yes, please. Okay, so sorry. We do apologize, but we'll have John back, and obviously Dario happy with his first TQ run. As anyone would be. So we'll play some ads real quick from our amazing supporting sponsors, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so we are back, and so yes, apologies again for the lack of sound there. We'll sort that out. Don't worry. But John is here too. He actually talked to Dario. I was running back and forth, but John will recap what Dario said basically.
Yeah. So it was very close. He said that we could see on the timing as well. He also said that this qualification was really fast because of the clouds. The clouds made the temperature a little bit lower, which made them possible to run faster lap times. A lot of drivers did a 15.1 in this round, which is really quick. He also told me, I asked him about his tire strategy, because like I said earlier, that with lower tires, smaller tires, you can get in faster lap times. So he said to me, in the 2 time practices, he had already run in 4 sets. So 4 sets of tires that he can use during all qualifications, so that he has used tires for all his qualifications.
Now the time practices, those are what, 10? Those were 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. So he could do 2 sets in one run.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he is planning to change something on his car. He said, well, because of the tire wear on the front is also very high, he's gonna set up his ride height in the front a little bit higher, so to prevent bottoming. I think especially on the bumps at the end of the straight, he will lose some time there. So to compensate for that, at the end of each run, when the tires get smaller, he will use a little higher ride height setting in the front. That was basically it. I asked him if I could see him at the end of the day again, but we will see.
Yeah.
Because
it is tight at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the first four. So there was Dario, Andrea Catazani, Tony Gruber, and Carmine Raiola. They were all within 8/10 of a second. So in 4 minutes, 8/10 of a second. That's really close.
That's
when
nothing,
people,
is it?
Yeah, when people ask me, what do you do in the weekend? I always explain this kind of qualification system. And then if we compare, for example, with Formula 1, people will say, it's very close. 1 lap difference is 1/10. Then I say, there's nothing. We do 4 minutes of qualification. When we do 16 laps, and after 16 laps, we have 5/10 of a difference. Or if you look at Catazani and Gruber, it is exactly 1/10 of a second in 16 laps. I mean, back in the good old days, when they asked you, "Hey, John, how did your run go?" Well, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. But back then, it meant the marshal need to take my car and put it back on the track. That was a mistake back then. But now, if you say, "Hey, John, how did your run went?" Well, I made a mistake in the corner entry of the 3rd lap. I hit the curb there, and this lap time was 2/10 slower, and that was the mistake which made me, in this case, drop me from pole to 3rd place. So this actually very close racing indeed.
It is crazy, and it's one of these things. Like, you look at, for example, not to build this up too much, but like Olympic level athletes who, they only meet and see each other. I mean, they'll see each other like at like international events during the year and stuff like that. But for the Olympics, which are only every 4 years, obviously, some of these people are like within thousandths of a second of each other, but there's a million variables. And you look at the cars, and there's like so many things to change that you can possibly have. And then there's temperature, tire diameter, tire compounds, which in this case doesn't matter because everyone's running the same handout tire, which is the Matrix, in case anyone is asking. Body choice, aerodynamics, engine choice, and like all the million things that can go into your engine, and then all the different settings, and then even just driving the car, there's a million things that can happen. And then these guys are so close after all of that. It is so tight. So I think we'll have a very, very interesting finals day for sure.
For sure, if qualifying is in 4 minutes already so close within tenths of seconds, then the mechanics come into play, which really can make a difference.
And we saw exactly that with Kalari. Whatever happened with him, we're not blaming his mechanic, whoever that may be, Mr. Kalari's mechanic. Please don't come after me. But I've already had a run-in, unfortunately, once with Mr. Paff and Mr. Kalari from years back when they first started using control tires. But the mechanics, like you say, big make a big difference, as you know, because you've got a mechanic helping you basically working on your car all weekend.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here in the commentary box. There it is again. In the commentary box with you, Frank. So that's really important, because whenever you are a driver and you have someone standing downstairs and managing literally everything, then you don't need to worry it in your head, and then you are more clear. Less interference. You don't need to think about do I need to change tires now? If there is somebody downstairs who makes these decisions for you, and you know that decisions he made are good, then you don't need to worry about it. For example, my girlfriend was actually helping me the first few days, and which she did a great job, by the way. I need to say that. But it is, I explained to her she needs to refuel me within 4 minutes. But then I know that she will do this, but still I am not sure that she pressed the stopwatch on the correct time whatever. So if you have a mechanic downstairs who you really can trust and know is skilled in all the things you need to do, then this can win a race definitely on this kind of level. For example, if we see these people are so close, and if one of those mechanics can refuel only 1 second faster, but the drivers keep doing what they are doing, then at the end they'll, like you would have said, gazillion seconds in what they need to do. I think 9 or 10 stops. They need to do also tire changes, and every second they can gain on the other mechanic. The driver don't need to drive. They don't need to overtake. It's just free time. So
exactly. And if you can save a pit stop even, and like go even further, save a pit stop, like some people will be doing, and some people will be doing a 2-tire change. Like, so on this track you'd be changing the right side tires, or you might change all 4 tires, and you might do that twice in a race in the 45-minute final, or you might do it just once. Yeah, loads of strategy. That's what makes it like so interesting. Yeah. And the same thing happened in the 1/10 in Euros earlier this year. So we don't know what's going to happen, and obviously they're not going to say. So Dario's not going to tell us his plan. So it'll be very interesting.
This is also based on data. Because these guys finishing their runs, they measure the tires before and at the end. They see on my laps how many exactly seconds they have run. They can calculate until the milliliter of fuel they have used per lap, which also they can calculate into a final. But like I said earlier, the tire diameter comes into play when the tires get smaller. Your fuel consumption gets up. So the more data you collect during the run up to qualifying will give you a better strategy choice for the finals. This can, like you say, only change right-hand side or a complete set. But I don't think they would make it a secret because the difference is just like in Formula 1, when some drivers can take care of their tires a little bit better than others. The same it goes for here, because some drivers just use less tire, so they could do a lesser tire change because of driving style, because they are less or more aggressive. This come all into play. But as long as you gather the data up until qualifying and still during qualifying, you can make the best strategic choices. And I have learned, whenever you make a strategic choice, never change it during the final, because you calculated it based on data, so you cannot change it. Because
you can't just go on a gut feeling, go, no, we should do this now.
Yeah, that never works out. That never works out. Trust me, I know. Because then exactly what, like you say, you get a gut feeling, like we can maybe stretch the fuel stop and then we spare one out. Nope.
Just heard thunder. I just heard thunder. Just overhead, behind us, the wind is, it's very fluffy clouds.
It's coming from the left here, which is rather gray.
So, luckily our cameras are pretty much covered, but it's another variable to bring in.
Yeah, let's check. Let's check some weather apps, because I have installed all on my phone, so and to take the average of it. Well, the Dutch one says no rain is coming.
We were looking at one earlier. It said 70% chance.
Look, the clouds are really close.
Yeah.
So if it falls, it is just the edge of the rain. But
we basically have about another. So our day ends at about 5:40. So that's about an hour and 20 minutes from now. And of course, that will be the fastest group of races. I think everyone goes out in the same order again, don't they? It's not swiveled around like off-road.
No, I don't know how we do it in off-road, but we did do it with a flagman.
It's 1 through 8 again.
You mean the
groups?
No, they will do it from 1 to 8. But I thought you meant the starting position from the cars in the heats. But it's just a rolling start. So, and I think they do that because on races where they have like a lot of groups, the group, if you have 22 groups, for example, and Group 1 starts at 10 a.m. in the morning, and Group 15 of 22 starts at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, there's a lot of difference in track evolution, and also temperature.
Yeah.
So that's why they scramble up the groups, just to give everybody a fair chance of running in the same conditions. but because
try
we
to
have
make it as fair as possible, which is, sometimes not perfect. I mean, nothing's ever perfect, but sometimes it works out for other racers, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to let you carry on with this Group 1 of qualifying. And there we go. There's our racers on the screen. We do want to thank our sponsors, of course, EFRA, the European Federation of Radio Control Automobiles, for organizing the events that we come to. Thank you very much to them. Thank you very much to our viewers who are joining us. And, of course, thank you to RC1 Racing, X-Ray, Lens Bodies, Infinity, Energy, Fuel, and RCXX Shop for allowing us to bring you and John, us and John, to your ears and eyes. So we hope you're enjoying us. Of course, if you want to have your friends share the link with them, rctv.1 is the stream is the link to send them, and everything is on there. I'm going to let you do the honors for this next group. I'm just going to adjust that camera in the middle because kind of forgot to in all the hustle and bustle.
Okay.
So I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Sure. Thank you, Frank. I was just scrolling down in the ranking, looking where everybody is, except for the fastest seat, obviously, because they are all in the top 10 as far as I can see, which some names there are surprising, but let's see. I was looking actually for my own name, but cannot really find it now, whatever. Yeah, so first group up. The clouds have pulled away, and now the track is in the complete sun. So we see if the lap times of this heat will be a little bit slower, or maybe it will benefit these lower heats when the traction is a little bit higher. Let's see how that pans out. Yeah, so Daniel Al01, everybody on the same tires. Yeah, we have a hand-out tire race. They should do the same in off-road. I don't know if the off-road community is open for that, but yeah, why not? It gives everybody a fair chance, especially in off-road. I know that there are a lot of brands in there, so yeah, then at least the aspect of tires gets out of the way. Andrew Pierce is asking, is there live timing somewhere? You can find that on myrcm.ch. So Frank is back in the commentary box again. So,
little jog out in the humid wind.
Doing some extra fitness.
Let's see if we can see what stay with this car here, Zach, and switch the camera now. There we go. That's a much better view. Perfect. Coming up straight. Who is this? This is car 2 with the green wing. Yes, this is car 2 that we're following.
Is actually
Gianni Locorotondo.
You can really learn on your Italian this weekend, Frank.
I practice it as much as I can. And we've got young Andrea Catanzani over here to our right. He was very, very quick in the GT8 Euros last year. TQ, actually, I think in electric.
He's also driving electric?
For GT8.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, which I mean, if I were to do Nitro, I think I would probably do GT8 because it's just a more fun-looking class to me.
To be honest, I've tried that class for the first time this year,
yeah.
Nitro and electric, and it's really fun to drive, I must say.
How would you compare it to, I mean, this class is like really, British would say it's very fiddly.
Fiddly.
Because there's so many like little tiny intricate things. I know with some of the cars, like I've seen some of the cars for GT8, which are crazy advanced already. But, you know, it started off as like literally just off-road buggies with shorter shocks, right? But how would you compare the GT8 category to this?
Well, of course, they are a little bit bigger cars, so to work on is a little bit more easy. But the biggest thing I noticed is the maintenance. Because I have a car brand, I don't know if it's the same, because literally I started it with this year. So it's completely steel drivetrain. So the drive shafts, the The four-wheel drive from front to back is all connected by dark bones. You say dark bones? Dark bones.
Universal dark bones.
Dark bones and a middle diff and a front diff and a rear diff, which is all steel. So you have literally no issues with maintenance or dirt coming in and wearing the parts. Which in this class, if there are 1/5 scale cars driving and they have these marbles, these pieces of small rubber coming off their tires, come into our pulleys, strip the belts and stuff like that. So we have a little bit. Not a little bit, you have a lot more maintenance. But on races like this, where they only drive 8 scale, the track is so clean. There's only foam on there, and you literally go to the air compressor, blow it off, and your car is like new. So yeah, maintenance is I think the biggest thing. And the tires, of course, because they drive with rubber tires.
Yeah.
You need to warm them up. But this you set on the track. The first 3-4 laps are a little bit the tire needs to wear into the camber. But with the rubber tires,
do you have to do that even if you've just run those tires the last qualifying run that you did? And if you, I don't know whether that's good or bad to do, but from a technical perspective. But even if you've just run the car, do you have to again? And you haven't changed the tires or anything, you still have to run them in again, the tires?
If they are new, they are literally 0 degree camber, they are flat.
Oh, okay. So you have to cone them in on the back.
When they are new, you need to do that. When you are on used tires, then the conical is already there, but you would change the left to the right.
I was going to ask about that earlier, because obviously like we have bank corners here and a heavy acceleration and braking and all this into some of the fastest corners that we have.
Yeah, so the tires on the right side of the car will wear much faster. So, for example, if you run them the first heat, then the second heat, you will use your right tires on the left side and your left tires on the right side. But the camber is already in the tire. But in the front, you also have something called caster, which makes the tire wear a little bit strange looking on the front.
Yeah.
So if you change that up, you need maybe 1 or tops 2 laps to wear that in on that side.
Right, okay.
But with new tires, you need to, we run in these cars 3 degrees camber in the rear, or sometimes maybe more. The more camber you run, the more run-in time you need for the tires.
Right,
but with new tires, I think we need maybe 4 or 5 laps or something to get them coned in, like you say.
Just to clarify, these are handout tires, so there's one make of tire that is provided by everybody. And so far, I haven't asked, but sometimes we used to see some of the single supplier events. There would be complaints about inconsistent tires, but we haven't seen so much of that at the Euros. I mean, in recent memory, anyway. But the tires are provided untrued, so and it's not like 12 scale where you like true them right down to there's 2 mil of wear on the wheels.
Yeah, but those are still with no camber on. They were still flat.
But they're not allowed to do that here.
No.
So that's why you're saying you have to run them in and get the camber setting correct on the tires. So you provided the tires, you literally open them and you put them in on all the little bins that I don't know, Zach, if you're stood there, can you show the tire technical area to the left?
Yeah.
So that's our tire turning in area. You see this mechanic here on the right there is carrying the pit sort of caddy, and that's that racer's supply of tires for the entire weekend. Is that right?
Yeah. So this is also what I have learned because I was with my team manager meeting, which is an Austrian team manager, by the way. He told me that we have 8 sets of tires, and we need to do with 8 sets of tires, which means whenever you come into a final and you only have 1 set left, then you need to run your final with that 1 set. If you then bump up to another final, you can only buy 1 set at a time. So that means that for the next final, you only have 1 set again. So if you are, for example, in the quarterfinals and you think you can make it to the main, I think the main can buy extra tires. But if you have 2 sets of tires into a main final and you are using them, then the next final you can only have 1 set. So you really need to take care of tire management, that you have enough tires whenever you go into the lower finals.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, and of course, having the experience of coming to European Championships events and having a good mechanic and maybe even like a good team manager and a good team, it all helps, doesn't it? So providing that knowledge of how to navigate through this sort of, because we hear people coming to the European Championships maybe for their first time, like they don't really know what to do. They're not familiar with the happenings and the organization, but it is. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but I always feel that people are a little bit scared to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you are a club racer, people tend to be a little bit scared to run nationals because you are running nationals. People think, and then it's the same with people running nationals to make that next step to run a Euros because it's a European Championship, all important people are there, but no, it is just another race with another format, and yes, there are several things that you need to take account for, but that's the team manager duty to give this knowledge to their drivers from that country.
And the team manager is, just for those of you unfamiliar or maybe watching from America or outside Europe, the team manager is provided by the federation generally. Like, so if you're racing for under the BRCA, the UK federation, the BRCA provides the team manager basically, or something like that. Or
at the race, someone will be appointed.
Yeah,
this can also be possible.
So you will show up. Obviously, you're a member of, in this example, the BRCA or DMC or whatever RC federation for your country, and then all of the important details are given. There's no like mass driver meeting like you find at a big race that I've been to in the States, where hundreds of people sit around and one guy is shouting instructions to everybody. There's a very quiet and organized meeting with maybe maximum 15 or 20 people, and each of those people is the team manager for a specific country. Sometimes a second country, but usually just one country per person. And then they go and talk to all of their team members. So for Germany, UK, or whatever, they will all have a little huddle and say, okay, well, they're cracking down on fuel, or they're cracking down on where you put your tires on, or where the technical, what you have to do for the mechanics. So they pass on the information basically. And the more of these you go to, the more you understand how things work. But every race is just a little bit different. For this particular race, they have like all these IKEA boxes, literally IKEA boxes, full of tires with each driver's number on them, and you are responsible for all the tires that go in and out of that box. And your mechanic or you handle that. And if there's any infringements, then you'll hear, we need the team manager for such and such country, and then you go, oh no, that's my country. Who's in trouble? Is it me? I hope not.
Usually when there's one particular country being summoned, then one of those persons have maybe made an infringement.
Yeah, it's not usually good news.
No, not per se.
But you have had an opportunity all through the event to have your car, your tires, your engine, everything teched. So your engine, your body shell, your exhaust, your manifold or your header, your chassis, all of that has to be checked, and then it's marked as well. And then you're all legal. You're all good. And sometimes there's issues that come up. Usually there isn't. But if you're playing with that knife edge of, is it legal, is it not, then don't be too surprised if you get called for summoned to the steward's office.
You made it sound really official.
Sometimes it is. I mean, I've seen some. It is like a little mini UN, which makes it kind of enjoyable from an outsider's perspective. But for the participants, it's serious business. But I have seen some racers get called in, for like illegal fuel, which is a big thing. And hopefully that doesn't happen here.
Oh.
But we have seen it happen.
We have just seen a car go off track, but that is literally off track because the track there
number
is
one. Car number one.
Yeah, that is The track there is, I think, 1 meter higher than when you go off at the X-ray corner. So to say.
yeah, that's a really difficult one there.
Yeah, from the commentary box, you can even see the car anymore.
Well, jumping down out off of the infinity corner, that banking, the very last corner on the track, that's even higher. But there is a big concrete wall there, basically.
Yeah, if you go off there, then I think your car is done.
Major problem.
Yeah.
So I have a question in the chat from Daniel. What is the percentage of nitromethanol that's allowed? I think it's, 25 or is it 15?
No, that's a good question because the percentage is 16. But
yes.
In the EU, we have these regulations that no mixture can have more than 16% of volume of nitromethane, which means that 16% of volume is actually 12% of real fuel, so to say, because nitromethane is heavier than the mass of nitromethane is 0.9, I guess. So if you have 1 kilo of nitromethane, you only have 900 cc of nitromethane.
Right. Okay.
So it is. That's why 16%. You have like 16% EU version now, which is regulated by the EU. So we actually run, if you talk in percentage of fuel, we run 12%. But it is 16% by volume, which is all regulated by the EU, not by any EFRA or whatever. Yeah,
so at the Worlds last year, I believe, or last weekend, and the previous Worlds that were at Radovon as well, they had the special dispensation from EU regulators, like literally government regulators, to allow these, because it's a very, very specific hobby event. They had to apply and make sure that they have special storage considerations and all kinds of safety things to have 25% fuel, basically.
Yeah.
At the thing.
Oh, I didn't know that they have. I didn't know they have special regulation. But Daniel, who asked that question, Frank?
That was Daniel 01. Daniel Liu 01?
Yeah, I don't know which country Daniel Liu 01 is, but I believe that we in the EU are the only ones who drive 16%. And I've been to the States last year in Miami, and the year before as well. And they are still allowed to drive 25% of nitro. And to be honest, your engine runs cooler, faster, and is easy tunable on 25% than it is on the 16% we use here in Europe. Because of the extra nitromethane, it made the fuel a little bit more expensive, but what you get back from it, like the tuning and the cooler running, and you can literally run also longer because there's less stress on the engine with lower amounts of nitromethane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the engines run simply better. With
on the higher percentage.
On the higher percentage,
wow,
yeah.
Okay.
They have.
I wouldn't have thought that. I always thought that the higher percentage fuel meant that it was more stress on the engine.
No, actually not. Yeah, if you go on let's say 40, 50, 60% of nitro, because then there's not really things to burn in the engine. Because I'm not an expert on this, but I know something that nitromethane only infuses the fuel with extra oxygen. It's not really burn. It does not burn on itself. But in a mixture, it gives a more explosion because it generates more air bubbles inside the combustion chamber.
Okay.
That's what it actually does. And more air inside fuel is a cooler engine. So it gives more explosion, more power, but at the other end, it gives also more cooling.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But that's really technical, and I think people that have more knowledge about fuel and mixtures than me. So,
any fuel chemists in the audience, please pipe up and let us know. But even like I think like a full-size car guy would be quite fascinated with this because it's nitromethane. It's a 2-stroke engine. It's not 4-stroke. So it's like. There, like with motorcycle guys, there's 2-stroke and 4-stroke guys, and it's like some of them are just, they only stick with 2-stroke. They don't want to bother with 4-stroke. Others are like, no, electric ignition's great, so I'm going to do 4-stroke. You know, it's like two different sets of black magic. And then you throw in like, oh, well, this is two-stroke engines. All right. Oh, what do they run on? Nitromethane. And they're like, they run what? It's not like
different black box.
Top fuel alcohol dragsters.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an engine, but it's a totally different type of engine. So it's like engine people just love this kind of messing around with stuff, And I think that's part of the real appeal of nitro racing, whether it's on-road, off-road, and whatever scale that you're running. And so it's fascinating stuff. I love it.
Yeah, also a lot of engine manufacturers the last couple of decade, now maybe the last decade only, they were also necessary to change the engine setup or combination, let's say, of combustion chamber or piston sleeve, or I don't know what else they have changed to really let the engine better run on these lower percentage of nitromethane. Because
did you have to do that when you went to Miami?
Yes.
Did you bring like fresh engines or engines that you had already sort of like used to the running 12%?
They were already running. But whenever you switch from 16 to 25%, you at least need to have a bigger combustion chamber, or at least a higher one, that you have less compression. Because of the nitro, it will give you a bigger explosion, so you'll need to have more clearance
under the head.
Yeah, more clearance.
Okay.
Else you will blown glow plugs out any second. And also the tuning becomes way more critical with less clearance and a higher percentage of nitro.
What about, how did you handle the humidity of Miami? Or was there
me
much?
Or my car?
The car.
Okay. Yeah. Well, whenever it's humid, you will have less power. Let's say higher temperatures of humidity will generate less power. Whenever it's cold and a little bit of humid, then it will generate more horsepower actually. So yeah, that's not really come into play in setting of the engine. It's usually the height where you are driving. For example, if you're driving at sea level, the air is more compressed than when you are driving in the mountains 2 kilometers up. There is less air. So you need to lower your combustion chamber.
Right, so you're running like not just high humidity, completely different nitromethane content, but also at sea level.
Yeah. I'm from the Netherlands.
You're used to running at sea
level.
So
I don't know if you are Austrian or Switzerland, then you have completely different playing field.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But these things all come into play in these engines. So whenever I travel, I always look at how high I am.
The altitude. Yeah.
To have an idea of my engine combustion chamber setting, so to speak. So
Simon Kurzbrook seems to be doing all right. He's a top racer from Switzerland.
Yeah.
But then he's got the experience, and I'm sure Daniele has been here quite a few times.
I think they will have the info. Yeah. So can we focus on the cars that are coming onto the straight right now? They look kind of racy. We have two cars, the blue and the green.
Yeah, the blue and the green
cars
cars
underneath the straight now. Yes. Oh, just opened up.
Some room there. Yeah. And already gapping. Oh, and he's made a mistake. Yeah. Who's that green car? See if I can get a number this time. It's a bit wild.
3.
The 1
was a car number 3. From Giuseppe Di Fucco.
And the 5 is the car just behind.
The 5.
We're running in 7th position, Manuel Twinko.
This car needed to open up for the faster guys. So especially in the lower heats, the spacing whenever you start becomes really important, because there's a little bit more difference in level you see, and the spacing is really important, because also for your own driving, when you have lots of space on the track, then you don't have to bother with opening or overtaking, which all will cost you less time, less lost in time. You see these cars running real closely. They also drive a different line, maybe a little bit careful of the cars in front of them for overtaking. These cars look real racy, so let's see how that pans out.
Are you ever able to, I know it's very, very tight, but are you ever able to actually feel a draft as you're getting close to somebody?
Feel the draft? I don't think so, but I think you will notice something. Maybe turbulence and stuff like that. But
we've got some action here coming up the straight.
Well, Frank, I'm gonna leave you to it because I see it's
yes.
already heat number 3, and I'm next up. So
okay, yes.
I will see you in a
Sorry
bit.
about that. We keep forgetting. We're gonna let John set off now, and he'll be back after his race, which is literally in about a minute and a half. All right. So thank you very much again to everyone who's joining us. Thank you to our amazing sponsors: RC1 Racing, X-Ray, Lens Bodies, Infinity, World Champions Team, Energy Fuel, and RCXX Shop. And of course, you're watching the EFRA 1/8 IC Track European Championships from Locorotondo in Italy. So it's the I missed the car number there. They need to have car numbers on the sides, really. But that is actually John's mechanic. He's helping out some other racers, as we can see. So let's see. Oh, well, everyone's finishing up. I think that was Alain Levy, who has just been pulled off the track. Finishing with 12 laps in that one, so he's already missed 3 laps. So everyone coming into the pits now. So fascinating stuff from John. So I think it's absolutely wonderful to have John in the commentary booth with us, us being the royal we, and also all of you listening. Thank you very much to everyone who's joining us from the U.S. and the Philippines and Australia and all over Europe, of course. So there's our finishing order. That's for Heat 3. So this is the second of 2 rounds of qualifying that we are going to be going through today. So let's have a little word from our sponsors. And as the notice there says, don't forget to subscribe. All right, so we are back with racing action from Heat 4 of qualifying round 2. See our pit lane cam in action. This is part of the 4 or 5 minute warm-up. I'm not sure exactly how long the actual warm-up is. It's 4 minutes. Minute and a half left in this one. In the warm-up. So JQF43RC saying hi to all the RCTV crew. Hello to you yourself, JQF43RC. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to everybody who's joining us. And thank you to our RCTV heroes, especially those of you who have popped in to say hello. If you're curious on what being an RCTV hero is, it's, well, on the RCTV YouTube channel. You can click the join button, find out all the details about it. Basically, you pay a few dollars, pounds, shekels, rubles a month, and you get a 15% discount on RC Racing TV merch on rcracingtv.com. And you get a cool little logo next to your name. You get a bolded name as well. You get priority follow requests. So far, we haven't had anyone ask to follow anyone in particular. But if anyone does, and a hero always gets the priority for the follow requests. So it's all good. And also priority, we basically pay attention to your comments first. And here we go. It's the start of Heat 2 qualifying for everyone out there. Danielle Liu says, okay, 7:50 a.m. for me in L.A., California. Time to go to work. We were just in California last week for the H2GP at the in Anaheim. It was fantastic stuff. Got myself a couple of In-N-Out meals and a couple of Denny's breakfasts. Went to Orange outlets at Orange and finally back to the Irvine Spectrum. Hadn't been there in 20 years. So it's great to visit California. So Daniel saying, thanks to RCTV for all the good work. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's see how John does in this one. He's out there, the only Dutch racer in that car 1. We'll leave him to it. I can see where he is on track, but we'll let's see who we're following this time. See if we can follow this car into that infield, the hairpin. Look at that view there with the sorted out camera. This is the car 5 of, we were following this car earlier as well. This is Ricardo Ricci coming into the hairpin once again, and you can see the driver's stand. So if we drop back one car, Zach, to I think it's car 3 of Fabian Berenger. So Ricci running second, Berenger running third now. He was running second. John Ehrman has just popped up into second. Fabrizio Iori popping up in there into the 4th spot. So we can drop back again there, Zach. And we're just cycling through the cars until we get some follow requests. This is that car number 8, I believe, of Franco Desiderio. I believe that is Mr. RC1 Racing himself. So we'll follow Franco for a bit. Oh, a little wild there. See how he does in the hairpin on hairpin cam right there. There we go. And back through that sweeper. And that is definitely Thunder that is getting closer to us. So we'll let Franco go there, Zach. Next car, drop back one more car. And this sort of red purpley car. No, it's just red. Number 7 of Eric Nugier. Catching up to Franco, it looks like. And Franco's going to have to move aside in a couple of corners' time. We'll see how this goes for Eric. And let's see if I can identify who is the next car back. That is actually John just behind Eric in this red car. So now John is catching Eric, and he's made a mistake and lets John go past. Now John catching up to Franco. John moving pretty good. Running 4th this time. I think he finished 7th last time in qualifying round 1. John running that number 1 on his car. Coming up the straight towards us. These cars hitting about 125 to 130k an hour. And we'll see what conversion that is, just for my own curiosity. See what Google tells us. That is 81 miles an hour up the straight. That's the fastest of these cars. And we'll stick with John here as he's, I think, about to pull into pit. This is his last lap. So now he's actually made the time. So that's Eric catching up to him now. So now his run is finished. So now it's just flipping the throttle to go around, and that is our time finished. So we definitely have some thunder. Are we going to get rain? We don't know yet. Cass RC saying, good day from Israel. Good day. Not sure if you're Australian and in Israel, or if your name is Israel and you're in Australia and you're saying good day. So I'm confusing myself maybe. So there's our finishing order. John taking 3rd in that one. Just saying hello to Franco D himself. So Cass RC saying, you're from Israel. Okay, all right. So I assume that means, since you didn't answer the other part of the question, I assume that means you're in Australia, which means you're like, what, 8 hours ahead of us? Right. Okay, there we go. So an Australian from Israel. Okay. Saying good day. It'd be like saying, yeehaw, from New York City. What? It's a little bit of a weird thing going on. All right, so Heat 5 coming out. So we've got, we're expecting John at some point back, for those of you curious. He's arranged things with his mechanic to turn marshal for him. So it's all sorted. It's all official. Yes, yeehaw from Texas. So Zach is, I'll wait for John to come back. John's just come back and joined our comms. Zach is just telling us, John, just so you know, there's an old chap out here looking at the clouds and praying.
Praying for rain, or praying if it's
that's a good question. I was assuming praying for rain, but maybe praying against the rain. Oh. So who knows?
Well, I didn't know if you heard it, but whenever I was driving, yes, I heard this thunder behind me.
I was talking about it. I was like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Let's see if we make it.
What's also funny is that if I'm standing here in the commentary box, there it is again. I love saying that, man. Really. That you feel no wind, but if you look at the flags here, there's a lot of wind, and also the gusts of wind, you feel it on the track also. Like in the not in the X-ray corner there at the back end, but in the hairpin after that one, you feel really gust of wind, tailwind, and your car gain a little bit more speed, and you tend to slide or miss your brake point there. So
yeah. So we have Claudio Beccarini Crescenzi saying, oh no, sorry. Greg Esser was saying, that was better, John.
Thanks, Greg, but the first one was not really my fault. So
this is the danger of racing, and then you come back and you're like, oh, everyone in the chat has been following me. Okay, all right, great.
Well, you could see it the other way, Frank, because maybe this is a chance to get some more airtime. Because, I don't know, did you follow me?
Yes, we did for a bit. Actually, we were following a car, and then it was being caught up by the red car of Eric, who you came up and passed. fairly easily just up here.
Yeah.
So from that point, we followed you to the end of the race. But yeah, we did move around a bit more than we have been, so we need to remember to do that.
Cool.
But no problem. Like I said to the listeners, no one is asking for follow requests yet, so we're just following whoever we can.
Yeah.
So no big deal. But we do have, maybe, is this a request, Giovanni Crea, who is, let's see, where is he in this one?
Oh, now I understand what you are saying about Zach, the old guy. You mean the guy from the track, you mean?
Oh, possibly Teodoro?
Yeah, the guy who was just here in front of our commentary box making all the
possibly.
signs. I think that's the guy's meaning.
And John's been hand-delivered a lemon soda.
Yeah. Because I didn't have the time to get it myself.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I like this. I mean, I've been to Sicily a couple times now, and I love it. So I actually have 3 Sicilian lemon trees growing in the front garden from my trip last year.
Yeah, this is really good stuff.
It's nice, yeah.
Lemon soda. Yeah.
Fanta Limon, love that. But then I like the more, it's like Fanta is like everyone, it's very easy to get. But that stuff is like, you could probably only get it around in this area.
Probably, but it tastes more like, we call it bitter lemon.
Ah, yes.
It tastes more like that,
Yeah.
actually.
So here we go. Time has started. Leslie Maury saying, "Give us a Mamma Mia," commentator. So hopefully that was good. Mamma Mia.
Don't forget
Rain, stay away.
Don't forget the fingers, Frank.
Yes,
Mamma Mia.
The what sign?
Yeah.
That I think I mentioned to you. That's going to be my next tattoo. I think. Hopefully here in Italy, because I'm trying to get like various tattoos now. So now that I've got my first one, but relevant to the place where I'm getting them from, if that makes any sense. So the Italian hand signal, the what, the coin purse as they call it. That's what they call that.
It's they have a name for it?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, coin purse is the polite name for it, but sometimes it's this.
yeah. Same sign language, but
yes.
Same sign, but in a different.
Yeah. So Tilo Diekman looks like he's recovered. Well, we'll see what happens at the end, because he did run out of fuel in his first run. But Tilo running second now. He was running first, but he's popped up there. So Tilo challenging for first place. Looks like he's got it.
Yeah, that's one car back, Zach. The green car behind. Yes, that is Tilo Diekman.
Yeah, there we are, Zach. That's Tilo. So we'll stick with him for a few laps. These laps go very, very quick. 15 seconds or so. So we've got another question for you, John. NYCE67 saying, John, are you going to the French Cup this year in Limoges?
I really want to go there because it's one of my favorite French tracks. But
so not the tennis tournament.
What?
Not the tennis tournament.
No. I sure don't hope he means the tennis. No, he means the Coupe de France.
Okay.
That's it's a separate race of the French nationals, and
One
they
of the
always
big
plan
races.
it. Yeah, they always plan it at the end of the year, and there's no differentiation in level, so everybody is in the same race. So a lot
sort
of
of like this, wherever if there's one category, it's not like a pro and a sportsman.
Exactly, yeah. And it's always a different vibe because it's not a sort of championship that hangs on it, but it's a cool race. And I've been, I think, to 5 of those Coupe de France. I even won some. Yeah. So, and Limoges is actually one of my favorite tracks in France.
Looks like Tilo's trying to make a move. He's trying to identify who he's running behind.
Yeah, he's running behind this car the whole
6.
I think it's Luca.
6. Of Ialesi, young Ialesi.
Yeah. Luca Ialesi. So, we're coming up the 3.5 minute mark.
Now we can't hear. I mean, the referees are calling the traffic, but only up you can only hear it up there. Is that right? Or can we hear it everywhere?
Yeah, but in my experience, they are not always what do you say? Telling traffic to open up. But in this particular fight, Tilo and Luca are in. They are very close. They're running almost the same lap times. And if one of them need to open, they will lose a lot of time. So in these qualifications, nobody actually wants to open.
Just come in?
Yeah, Tilo has finished this run.
Ah, okay. Okay. And he literally just run out of fuel just before.
He is already out of fuel in the pit lane. Yeah.
That is tight.
I think he changed something.
I mean, everyone's finishing, but this is Annunziato.
Yeah, but in the last lap, Alessandro Occhipinti took this heat because he had a fast lap in his last round. It was a 15.5 and Tilo had only a 15.7, resulting in not a tenth, not a half a tenth of a difference. So,
wow,
really close. I mean, the first 5 have 4:11.9. Yes, the first 5 are in 1 second, Frank.
Jeez, that is tight. I know it's only 4 minutes, but jeez. At these speeds, wow. Basile Concialdi saying, come again in France, John.
Yeah. I have some friends in France.
I can imagine.
No, but to give answer to the question, Coupe de France is in the same weekend as a Dutch Nationals. And I am helping my mechanic and my friend, Max, because he's still...
Are you repaying this mechanic for helping out this weekend?
No, because this is another mechanic.
A different one.
Yeah, this one is from Austria.
So okay.
But my normally go-to mechanic is Max, and he drives the Dutch Nationals, and he still theoretically can win the Dutch Nationals. So
okay.
So I need to be there for him to get him the victory. It will be hard, but that's why I'm not able to join the Coupe de France.
Basile saying, next time.
For sure.
I mean, that's a nice thing, though, about the big races like Coupe de France, and which, I mean, to be honest, it's the first time I've heard of it. But, these races go on year after year after year, like Montpellier for off-road or Miami GP or wherever, all these big races, like the Neo, which we used to cover, the Neo buggy. And, it's good to... And it's interesting that, like, the on-road races always tend to be, like, it's always the same track. So it's like a familiar feeling sort of thing,
Yeah, while off-road, the track layout is maybe the same, but the bumps and the underground may change. That's what you mean, or...
okay.
No, but these kind of races, like what you were saying, the Miami Grand Prix or Coupe de France, these are races with, they are one of a kind. There's no championship connected to it.
We're missing Alex Thurston in this one. So he didn't... Oh, no, his dad has just set him down now. I was a little worried there for Alex. Because in the car here, he's just gone out. He didn't finish his first run, basically. And he hadn't checked in. So anyway, sorry.
I spoke with Alex just before I came here talking with you. He said he had a little bit of issues with the tires being different than the ones he was running before. And gave him a little less steering. So also talked to me about a little bit about a power issue he was having. So maybe this comes into play right now in the qualifications, which made him some issues at the moment. But I think he will work it out.
Hopefully. We always wish all of our all the racers to do well, but obviously only one can win, and but for some, it's not about winning. It's about placing better than they did last time, or just making the A or the B or the semis or whatever.
Yeah.
So hope it comes together for Alex, whatever his goals are. So there's still 45 seconds, and this is just warm up.
So this first car went out pretty early, and I think he noticed himself, but he came back into the pit for a refuel. But let's see if he's on time for the start. They're putting him down right now. Car number 2 is Tim Wood from the UK. So maybe we can follow him around. Zach, he's now at the end of the straight. He's going into the back straight chicane. X-ray corner. The first orange car, that is Tim Wood. Already being chased down by the number 1 car, which is Fernandez. Ooh, very close racing already. So the start of this qualification. This will be a perfect example of the referee calling for opening for a faster driver, but maybe Tim needs to find some pace.
There he goes.
That was real close.
It was almost like a forced pass.
A forced pass.
So if we follow the lead of these 2 cars, Zach, the faster one, there we go.
So that's the number 1 car of
Fernandez.
Yeah. Calvo Alvaro Fernandez. Spanish driver, also well-known driver in Spain. Saw him on the podium quite often in the Spanish Nationals, so I think he's one of 2 or 3 Spanish drivers in the competing in this European Championship. He is actually now leading the heat number 6, heat number 6. Maybe we can follow the number 3 car. Let's see where this car is now. That is the car of Louis Christophe, who's also very close of running. Yeah, when you search for a car, you need to look at 120 kilometers an hour. This car is running now at the back chicane, running in the X-ray corner. It's running behind the orange car. And now onto the main straight. Yes, this is the car of Louis Christophe, who is in the top 2, which is very close in the top 3. Sorry, top 4. They're all separated by 0.8 of a second. Louis Christophe is a French driver. I think he also had made his own engine brand, NBS. I don't know if he's using it at the moment, but yeah. It's like, I think it's like an OEM brand, like based on another brand, and then OEM'd it for himself, maybe with some different specifications. Yeah. So you are just saying you don't want to pressure him, but he has 3 chances left, and those need to count.
Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, this kind of leads into hopefully that we don't have like massive rain tomorrow, because if the heavens were to open and the track looks flooded, I mean, it looks like it was raining pretty well. But if we have
Okay, so both the rounds will count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we only won 2 rounds qualifying, obviously both rounds count.
Yep.
If we won 3, 2 rounds count. If we won 4, 2 rounds count. If we won 5, 3 rounds count.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But might be
But let's be positive, Frank. It will be dry tomorrow. We will have 3 rounds of or else we ask someone to do the anti-rain dance or the sun dance, whatever, however you call it.
we don't want to rain dance. We don't want no rain dance.
Nope.
We've seen enough so many events affected by rain.
Yeah, you have been to several events. So how many events were affected by rain? I saw that at least the 110 scale was a disaster. Rain-wise.
It wasn't that bad. But I mean, everyone jokes about, oh, you brought the British weather with you. So pretty much the same.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a great combination. If we are here at the same time, if we brought all our weather with us, then we were raining 1 week in the rain.
I moved to the UK. I moved to the UK from Southern California.
Why the hell did you do that?
Exactly. Because I wanted to see it.
Ah. No.
But anyway, the Southern California gets 30 days of clouds a year.
What? 30 days of clouds.
30 days of clouds a year. That's it. A few of those.
In the Netherlands, we get 30 hours of clouds on one day sometimes.
And when it rains in Southern California, I mean, it's completely separate, but no one knows how to go in there. It's just a fact. But yeah.
So it's quite funny to see that at every qualification run you see cars running up dry on the track, and marshals need to carry 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, sometimes 5 cars back to the pit lane. So fuel consumption is a thing in the qualification, and it will also be a thing from the semi-finals onwards, because semi-finals take 30 minutes. The quarterfinals and lower finals take 20 minutes, so probably everybody will do a 4-minute fuel stop strategy. If you need to refuel one time more in a lower final, then it will cost you a lot. So bump up spot will then be more difficult to reach. Heat number 7 on track now. Drivers are Michael Weigerding, Maxime Ripoll, Mattia Colavo, Pietro Angolocci, Filippo Domanin, Tobias Sutrich, Sascha Kluk, Lamberto Colari, Ciro Mollo, and Victor Olivares, who is, I think, the second Spanish driver. I'm very curious what Ciro Mollo can do this week. I think he's a local Italian driver. Was very fast at the beginning of this week. So let's see his car number 2. Let's just have a quickly look how his car looks like.
Now there's still almost a minute left of the warm-up, so we're still not into the actual qualifying proper. So we're going to see some of these drivers, well, most of these drivers, come in for a pit in about, 20 or 30 seconds, you think? I mean, with 37 seconds left, they should be coming in after this next lap or so. Is that number 4 of Vigerding. Okay.
Forget the finger with that one. It's a German. So
yeah. So and luckily we have seen, like I said, we have seen Lamberto check in this time.
So cars leaving the pits. Maybe we can focus the first laps on the number 2 car. Zach?
Let's see. Do we know the color of Ciro's car?
He is now at the back chicane. He is now at the X-ray. It's a blue with orange lower sides. That is the car.
Oh, okay. Coming through the infinity corner there, Zach.
Yeah. So
and
this is the
straight
car
towards us.
Yeah, this is the car of Ciro Mollo, which is the Italian who was really fast I was talking about. Let's see what he's doing in the first few laps.
Oh, and another racer we'll have to look at is Filippo Domanin. who again he only got 3 laps in the first qualifier, so he needs a decent run to settle the mind overnight, I think. I mean, would that bother you? Like if you finish like 8th and 10th in the qualifiers today, would you be stressed overnight, or would you? How would you be?
Well, can set your mind over it, then you'll have a better performance next day. Because I remember Euros in France, 2019. I had a really good pace back then, and I could directly qualify in the semis, easy. I also did, but the first qualifier I made a mistake in the warm-up period, which caused my spoiler to completely pull out.
Oh man!
I posted a 5th time, which was really good. But I got disqualified because of my spoiler. Usually you could say it was a crash, and it was not me who put that spoiler there, but the spoiler was completely pulled out on both sides, so there was no signs of a crash.
Right.
So they scratched my 5th place. And then you have 2 choices. You can say, damn it, I'm never gonna make it anymore, and everything is gone to hell, and blah blah blah. But then you get in a downward spiral, and then it goes worse from there. So what I said, okay, I have posted a 5th time, I can do it again and again, so let's forget this day ever happened, and let's do it again. Eventually I posted 4, 7, 9 and an 11th place, which posted me a top 10 and directly in the semi. I had bad luck in the semi though, but you really need to put yourself over that, and that's I think what Alex needs to do. Because to keep in that downward spiral will ruin also your next day. If we look at the car of Miro, it looks really good. It's not the fastest at the moment. Filippo Domanin is the fastest. Maybe we can follow that car. It's the car number 8. He is at the end of the straight now. It's the orange car going into the back chicane X-ray corner. The orange car, Zach. Yes, you got it. That's the car of Filippo Domanin leading this race, posting lap times of 15.2, 15.3. Colari in the mix as well, with a little less over a minute to go. It's changing up between Filippo and Colari at the moment. 4/10 of a second. Maybe we can look at Colari. He is the blue car on the back straight now. This is the car of Maxime Ripoll from France. And 5th place at the moment. Running also very tight lines. Car looks really solid. He has actually a free track. Nobody in front of him. Behind him is Miro, but is let's say a straight length back. So we're finishing up here. Let's see if everybody can finish their lap. So it looks like Weigeding came finished, but its last lap was really slow. Sutrich could not finish. I don't know if he ran out of fuel, but he stopped at 3 minutes 30. Sasha and Calavo had some issues which made them to retire. So next up is the fastest heat of the day, and it will be also the last one of today. So let's see if Dario Balesri could do another TQ run. As we see the results of the heat number 7. Filippo Domanin followed by Lamberto Colari, Ciro Modo 3rd place, so solid position. Next up, heat number 8, last one of today.
shockingly, are we running ahead of schedule?
Are we running ahead of schedule?
Yeah, I mean, plus, I always thought that was plus. That's weird. How are we running ahead of schedule?
That is something non-Italian.
Hey.
So on track now. I see 8 Italians, a Swiss guy, and someone from Germany. Very funny when you see this graph into the screen.
Italians love nitro racing, don't they?
Yeah,
so,
and we're in Italy. So I'm really curious to see how many Italians will make the final. What is your guess, Frank? Saturday.
Sorry?
What is your guess? How many Italians will make the final?
Oh dear.
Will we have 10 places or 11 places in the final? I would say.
Is it going to be? There's last chance finals.
Yeah, so that's the 11th spot.
But is it going to be 12 or is it going to be 13? I mean, is it going to be 11 or is it going to be 13?
No, it's going to be 10, and then we have the
so
last chance
5
is 11.
Semi.
We have the first 4 are direct, and then we have 6 through semi. And then we have a last chance final of all the semi-finalists who could have made it through in a 15-minute qualifier.
Right. So out of 11, how many are going to be?
Italian?
I would say. Wow. Let me look at the names. Not that it should influence, but I don't know.
I will say.
I'm going to say at least
7.
7. Yeah.
Okay, then I will say, if you say 7, I will say 6.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got it out first, so I would go 8.
Oh,
if you're going 7.
Okay. Now I think 7 will be the number.
Okay. I mean, 8 out of 11.
That will be a lot.
That leaves. I mean,
that leaves Gruber.
I don't want to be obvious, but yeah, Kurzberg, Gruber, and someone else.
Yeah. So, on track, final heat of the day, and we are go. "30 seconds before the start, so I think everybody would come in for their last refueling. So maybe we could start off following our pole man. There's the gray car on the front straight right now.
Yeah,
and
just coming underneath us. That.
Yeah. One gray car back. This is the car of Tironi. Yes, there he is. This is the car of Dario Bellestri, our TQ man of round number 1.
Followed by the car 7 of Jonathan Gandine. Now, I must say, I was talking to Tony about this, because Catanzani, he kind of popped up out of nowhere last year, as far as I was concerned. I don't know how long he's been racing, but he's a young guy, TQ'd GTE last year, and now here he is running literally with the fast guys in 1/8 IC. Which is, have you seen him before at Euros?
Yeah, but he is one of the younger Italians. I've seen him before, but not when he was so fast, because of the previous Euros last year in Villarreal, he was also in the mix. I don't know if he made the final, but he was definitely in the mix for a final spot. I think he became a lot faster during this last year. else he would have been where he is right now. So yeah, if we look at the top 6, Frank, they are all in 1 second. Crazy. With still 2.5 minutes to go. It's Gruber, Balestri, Catanzani, Koetsboeg. And it's really, really close. All depends on if you have traffic or not. For example, if he can follow the yellow car, it's now on the front straight, followed by the orange car, real close racing. That's the car of Carmen Raiola, followed by Mirko Salemi. Don't really know if he just overtook Mirko, but running very close to each other. And coming up on those two is our number 1 in this heat, so they need to open up for those. So let's stick with those 2 cars for the moment. Go maybe 1 car back. Then we have the car of Mirko and Tony coming up right there. So let's keep an eye on Tony for a while, because he needs to take over these 2 cars. As he is one of the fastest men on track, and this can cost Tony those pressure stands at the end of the run, where he decides if he gets DQ or a 4th spot, because it's that close. But for the moment, he's still leading. There you go, past Saleni. That was a close call, the next corner. So this last lap was a 15.3 with overtaking. That is not bad. So this gave Raiola a little bit of more time to opening up the gap. So Gruber still running at first, followed by Catanzani and Raiola. Sorry. Koetsboeg now in second. So I'm very curious to see if these guys make 4 minutes. Let's go find Simon. Simon is on the front straight right now. He's passing below you. At the end of the straight, 1 car back is Simon Koetsboeg. 1 car back. Yes, at the X-ray. You got him, Zach. So Simon Koetsboeg also in the mix. Very close. Koetsboeg is now on the lead lap, leading. Catanzani finished. So they're all finishing up. Let's see if the cars can finish on their last lap.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yes.
Simon taking off Gruber.
Yeah, Koetsboeg taking that one. I think.
All right.
I think because
I'll go grab Simon.
Yeah, you go grab Simon. I think in the last few laps, you see the last lap of Koetsboeg was 15.1. No, that's the fast lap, John. Well, the last lap was also 15.1, and Gruber was a 0.3. So that is 2/10, which is actually the difference between 1 and 2. So it is super close. Dario, our pole man, now on 5th spot. The numbers 1 to 5 all within. Yes, what is it? 1 second? No, 7/10, 8/10 of a second. We're super close. Andrea Catanzani posting the fast time of this event, a 14.995, breaking the 15-second barrier, which is really, really fast. So, let's see if Frank can hook up with Simon, and then we do a TQ interview with Simon.
Yes, super tight. Congratulations for your pole position in round 2. Very close racing. So can you tell how did it went for you, round number 2?
Round number 2, yeah. Now the engine was set up perfectly, a lot of power, car feels great, and I gave everything I had, and I'm super happy that it worked out.
Yeah, you are someone of the last lap, I think, because the last lap you did 15.1 and Gruber did a 15.3, which is 2/10, which is now actually the difference between you and Gruber. So it is super, super close. I spoke with Dario the first round. Maybe I'm gonna talk a little bit too much for Dario, but we'll do it anyway. I spoke a little bit about tire management because he said to me he run in some new tires in the time practice, so he had like 4 used sets, so that he could start every heat with a used set. Is it some kind of tactics you also use this week?
Not this week. I think we are quite good with new tires, so it's not a big problem for us. So we put new, and that's it. We break them in. Of course, break-in time is quite short now, but car feels great after some laps.
So you started with new tires,
yes.
And then when they came in, the car is immediately on rails.
Yes.
Well, congrats for the
Thank you
in the second round. I think it will be very close at the next few rounds. Also, watch out for Andrea Catesani, what he just posted the fast lap of 14.95. So
wow. Yeah.
Broken the 50-second barrier. So that's a challenge for you to do that tomorrow, okay?
Thank you so much. And I'm happy. First time I'm on the top this week. We worked hard, so it's great to be there.
Hard work pays off.
Yes, sometimes. Thank you.
Ciao.
All right, fantastic stuff. Thank you very much to Simon for joining us there for his round 2 TQ interview. Congrats, Simon, for the rest of the weekend. Good luck, I meant. So if you want to put your headphones on and we'll do our outro. So John is back in the booth. So Simon seemed pretty happy.
He was pretty happy. I spoke with him. I spoke with him earlier this week, and I asked him how it was going, and he said he had a little bit of issues finding some pace, or I don't know what exactly. But yeah, that's why he was so happy, I guess, to be on top now. That means all the work that he has done,
for sure,
it paid off. So yeah, glad for Simon. And I think if we look at these results, yeah, it's super close. Even Balestri is now on 5th spot. And
wow.
Yeah, it's super close. So
it's, I mean, you know, for us as viewers, I mean, obviously, you know, Dario's a good guy. He's a fantastic racer, but it's amazing for us as spectators and viewers and fans of the sport to see 2 different racers as TQ, you know, the overnight TQs, sort of. And we'll see what happens. And so, just as a very quick recap, top 4 drivers after qualifying go directly into the main final, the 45-minute main final, which is the final race of the weekend on Saturday evening. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then the rest have to filter through the semifinals, and some will qualify directly into the semifinals. Some will have bad luck, unfortunately, and not make it out of the semis or into the semis, and then we do have a last chance qualifier for everyone who didn't make it into the main final.
That's literally what I've done that last year for the first time. That's literally a 15-minute qualifying.
Yeah, it's just intense, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do remember a bit of that race from last year. If you have a chance to find that on the RC Racing TV YouTube channel. But anyway, that is it for our coverage today. Thank you very much for joining us, all of our viewers. Thank you so much to EFRA, the European Federation of Radio-Controlled Automobiles, for providing the organization to bring this. And, of course, our amazing sponsors, RC1 Racing, X-Ray, Lens Bodies, Infinity, Energy Fuel, and RCXX Shop. And thank you to our first-time race commentator, John Ehrman from the Netherlands, not Holland. From the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands, yeah. Well, thank you, Frank. I'm happy to be here, happy to help out. So I hope you did a good job, and else we will try it again tomorrow. But I think it was good.
Yeah. I think it's gone really good. Yeah. So as we're watching the drivers or the mechanics waiting for the cars to come out of tech, we will finish off, and we'll see you tomorrow. I think it's 9:20 is the racing starting tomorrow, because there's the track cleanup. Like everyone gets a round of practice. Is that right?
That's right. It's called SOP. Don't know why.
I have no idea what that means.
At 8:40, the track is open for Batteria Uno.
Yeah,
it was good Italian.
Yes, very good. And so that will basically that's one round of practice for everybody, but it's basically to clean up the track. But so the drivers will learn the track conditions. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow at probably about 9:15 a.m. That's Central European time, Italy time, for the EFRA 1/8 IC Track European Championships for 2024 from Locorotondo in Italy. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.